Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Wednesday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter. I'm a city of brotherly love. He's in Philly today and tomorrow. We got our friend Austin Ward, A-Ward Sports, with us here this morning. And, of course, our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark. Austin, happy Wednesday to you, buddy. Know it was a late night. You were trying to get to bed a little bit early, and then some tornado sirens kind of derailed that for both you and me. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you.
And everybody in Northwest Columbus and around there. Well, not just where I live or where you live, but glad everybody made it safe.
Yep.
It was never like hearing 10:05, the sirens wailing. Both the girls were already in bed in my house. Do we really need to get up?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the eye of the storm is just driving down 161 apparently. So we're pretty close to that.
Yeah.
About, half a mile away from that. So let's get down in the basement and batten down the hatches. Unfortunately, everybody stayed safe.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was last night. Mary went to bed probably around like 9:15. William actually, we put him to bed around 7:30. He was up again at 7:45. Tried to put him back down. It's like, nope, not having it. Did a little 8 o'clock playtime. Try to get
that's what you love.
Try to get the last of the zoomies and the jitters out. So it's like 8:15, 8:30. He's running around wanting to read all kinds of books. We have like a crab that like plays music and like runs back and forth. And that thing's like blaring through the house, and he's just laughing and giggling. I'm like, dude, you've been up for like 7 hours. Like, go to sleep. We are both very tired. So then we like finally get him down again. This is like 8:45, 9 o'clock. And the sirens started going off around 10:10. Meredith went to bed at like 9:15. I'm watching the news. I had it up on my phone. I'm like, all right, let's just track this sucker and kind of make sure that, nothing crazy happens. And then like on my phone, I got like the big like screeching alarm where it's like, hey, this is coming right towards you. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching too. I'm like, I'm navigating that. So it was around like 10:35. Mare comes downstairs. She's like, what do we need to do? Are we going to the basement? I'm like, yep. Probably should head down there for a little bit. So corralled the dog, which was the hardest part to get into the basement was the dog, was Theo. Woke William up. He was pissed. He was not excited at all to get up and be down there, but we gave him his pacifier, and we were down there probably until, I don't know, 11:05, 11:10 or something like that. Finally feel like, okay, this is good enough. We're going to be decently, be safe enough. Like it had kind of moved past us and moved into Westerville, because we're also like, we're just right south of like Morse, so we're not too far off that 161,
which was also singled out on the coverage.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Hey,
like they said Morse Road.
you hanging out on Morse Road?
Yeah,
look out!
You better get to shelter. I'm like, okay, let's just go to the basement now. But yeah, around 11:05, 11:10 or so. We felt like, all right, this is probably good. William went like right back to sleep, which was nice. I told Maren, like, I'm going to stay up a little bit just in case something else funky happens. So I don't know, man. It was probably like 11:30, 11:45 by the time that I finally went to bed and settled down for the evening. But yeah, never fun. I know a couple of months ago we had that like 5:30 a.m., 6 o'clock a.m.
That was my birthday wake up.
Yeah, it was a nice wake up for you. And then obviously the end of the spectrum last night, kind of later. Last evening. But yeah, it was a little bit of a jolt of adrenaline before everything was happening. I mean, I heard the wind and the hail like from downstairs too, like in the basement. I'm like, wow, that's it's pretty impressive, pretty strong.
Coming down, not fun. I saw my first like zombie experience with Liberty, which was wild. I'm like, because she'd only been asleep for like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. She goes to bed at 9:30 and she was snoring. And I'm like, hey, wake up. And we gotta go down to the basement. There's a storm. Couldn't wake her up, so I picked her up.
Yeah.
And then we got in the hallway. And I'm like, Allie, we got to go downstairs. She wasn't sure. I'm like, now's the time. We got to go. So I put Lib down. She finally wakes up, but then she just sprints back to her bed and like closes her eyes and goes right back to sleep 2 seconds later. I'm like, what is going on here? How did she even do that? And like, wake back up.
Yeah.
There's a tornado. She's like, what? Like, we got to go.
Then she's up. Then
she's good.
Up.
Then she's ready to rock. She's like wired and wants to watch Netflix. I'm like,
no, right. not the time of day for that.
Yeah.
Not the time of day for that. But yeah, glad everybody, for the most part, was all right last night. I know that was a little bit of a scary situation. Got a great show lined up for you here this morning. No drama last night in the NHL Draft Lottery. We'll get into that coming up here in our next segment. Play-by-play man of your Columbus Crew, Chris Doran. He's going to join us. We'll recap what had happened last week down in the second leg in Monterrey, and then also preview Hell is Real coming up on Saturday here at the Death Star in Columbus. We'll check in with Chris Doran coming up here at 6:35. Do some futures on the Buckeyes in the draft coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. What's the highest prospect ranking according to the odds? We'll get into that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well. The NCAA sure is changing, and there's an idea being floated around for an NCAA basketball tournament, which is pretty wild. So we'll get into that coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour as well. 8 o'clock hour, get into some Bengals talk. Joe Burrow spoke to the media yesterday. He was back in action in practice, so we'll get to listen to him a little bit later in the 8 o'clock hour. And then your comrade, Bill Landis. He's going to join the program coming up here at 8:35. So tons to get into here on this Wednesday edition of the program. But before we get into anything else, it is Wednesday, the 8th day of May, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Mark the Shark.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
How are the storms for you, Sharky, last night? I mean, I know you were up in Powell, and the radar looked pretty sketchy up there.
I staved off the trip to the basement until that thing was like a mile away.
Yeah.
And finally, my wife was like, let's go. We got to go. So we went down there for probably a good 45 minutes. Thankfully, nothing happened. No trees were overturned and no windows broken.
Good.
But I did get a little nervous there, Beamsy.
Glad you're all right. Glad everybody.
Thankfully, I don't have a baby in the house, kid in the house like you guys, or a dog. Today is May the 8th, and it was on this date in 1348 that a ship from Bordeaux carrying the plague landed in Dorset, England.
How did that
Who
end up?
invited the plague onto this cruise ship?
It was the beginning of the plague known as Black Death in England. The pandemic lasted for 7 years. Killed as many as 50 million people.
They wiped out like 40% of the population, didn't it?
I was just going to say it, including half of Europe's 14th century population. Can you imagine that? Half of your population on a continent wiped out by a pandemic.
That's pretty. It was. I mean, obviously, it wiped off half the population, but it's where they were like burning bodies and like in the streets. And,
they had nowhere to put them.
It was crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, Thanos did that.
That's true. But he just snapped his finger.
That was fiction, though.
Oh.
This was nonfiction.
My mistake.
1886, Jacobs Pharmacy in Atlanta sold the first Coca-Cola. It contained actual cocaine.
Nice.
Hence the jingle, have a Coke and a smile. 112 years ago today, 1923. That would be 111 years. That would be
101 years.
101 years ago today, 1923. Paramount Pictures was founded. The film and production studio went on to produce some of the all-time great movies like The Godfather, The Ten Commandments, Forrest Gump, Chinatown, Saving Private Ryan, Psycho, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Titanic, and of course, Grease.
Maybe the best one.
The best for last.
Because Grease is the word.
Go Grease, lightning.
1935, Cincinnati Reds catcher Ernie Lombardi hit a double in the 6th inning, and then he hit a double in the 7th inning, and then he hit a double in the 8th inning, and then, he hit a double in the 9th inning.
Nice.
The Reds beat the Phillies 15-4 in Game 1 of a doubleheader in Philadelphia.
Let's say, hopefully they won that game.
May 8th, 1945, Great Britain and the United States celebrate Victory in Europe Day, better known as VE Day.
Yep.
Cities in both nations raised flags and banners rejoicing in the defeat of the Nazi war machine during World War II. It was the day when German troops throughout Europe finally laid down their arms. 1959, Mike Ilitch and his wife Marion founded Little Caesars Pizza, Garden City, Michigan. Mike Ilitch, a mere 29 years old at the time.
It's hot and ready.
Yeah, it is all the time.
1963, Dr. No was released in movie theaters. It was the first James Bond movie and featured relatively unknown Scottish actor Sean Connery.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Too bad you have to go. Just as things were getting interesting.
Yes. Tell me, Miss Trench, do you play any other games?
Golf, amongst other things.
Tomorrow afternoon, then. We could have dinner afterwards, perhaps?
sounds tempting.
He was so smooth.
Where's that rate for you, Shark, on the
Dr.
all-time? Yeah, on the all-time Bond.
Oh,
films?
I mean,
Classic OG.
you watch it today and it just doesn't live up to the other ones. But it was, at the time, I'm sure it was really cool.
Casino
I didn't see it at
Royale,
the
I
time.
think
That's
is
my favorite.
Yeah, it's so good.
The second Casino Royale.
Yeah, the one
Excuse me, Royale.
The one with Daniel Craig.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you there, Beams.
Is that where they're running through on the at the very beginning where he's running through like the construction site?
They're in
The parkour scene?
Yeah. The great parkour scene.
is that in Mexico?
I don't remember where it was at. I just remember it started off like a shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. First 15 minutes of that movie are crazy. And it has nothing to do with
No,
the rest
absolutely
of the movie,
nothing.
of course. 1970, the Beatles released their 12th and final studio album, Let It Be. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter famously banned U.S. athletes from competing in the Summer Olympics in Moscow. The Soviets got revenge on this date in 1984 when they announced the boycott of the 84 Summer Games in Los Angeles. Always love when politics interferes with sports. Just leave us alone.
That's it. That's all we're asking for.
Also, 40 years ago today, Kirby Puckett made his major league debut with the Twins. In his first game, he had 4 hits, all singles. 2010, this happened. The oldest person to ever host Saturday Night Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, Betty White.
I just can't believe I am hosting Saturday Night Live. Many of you know that I'm 88 and a half years old, so it's great to be here for a number of reasons. Guess what? We have a great show for you tonight, so stick around and we'll be right back.
On this date in 2014, 10 years ago today,
With the first pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end, South Carolina.
who was the second pick in that draft? Any idea?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if they made a mistake. He obviously had some good years.
It was a pretty poor draft class
Was it?
overall.
Greg Robinson was second. Blake Bortles third.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins coming off of that just demolishing of Ohio State in the Orange Bowl. Khalil Mack was fifth.
Shark, they were pretty well roasted at the time for what seemed like a reach for Clowney. But you look back at the rest of this class, it's quite poor in all pros. And the Texans may have actually made the ideal pick there.
Yeah.
Now, you can dig down and see. And find, like,
of course.
I'm sure. And that happens every year.
Is that like maybe Travis Kelce or something in that class? Like you can't find very many all pros down there.
Do you want to know who the Browns took in the 2014 draft with the number 8 overall pick?
The number 8 overall pick.
Yep.
No, it wouldn't have been Whedon. He was before that. I don't know.
Justin Gilbert at number 8. And then they doubled back down, moved into the first round, and took Johnny Manziel. Mm-hmm.
That homeless guy on the street said it was a great pick.
Yeah. Birthdays today. Our 33rd president, Harry S. Truman, born in 1884. He would be 140 years old today. Golfer Francis Ouimet, born in 1893.
All right.
Won the U.S. Open in 1913, right across the street from his house.
He did. Awesome.
At the age of 20. Former British actor and now host of the BBC's Our Planet, David Attenborough.
My guy.
98 years old today, and he is still kicking. Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire is 73. Former Steelers coach Bill Cowher is 67. Former Bears, Texans, University of Illinois head coach and Ohio State assistant Lovie Smith, 66 today. And then former Buckeye and Minnesota Viking tackle Corey Stringer would be 50 today, but we lost him back in 2001. And that's what I have for you boys on this 8th day of May.
Very good job on that, Sharky, as always. Yeah, I'm looking over this 2014 NFL draft, and there's really, not a whole lot. Really not. DeMarcus Lawrence was taken with the second pick in the second round. Joel Bitonio was taken 35th overall, so that was a good pick by the Browns. Derek Carr went 36th. Devontae Adams, 53rd. There's your guy. Mm-hmm. There's the guy, Devontae Adams, that everybody missed out on. But you could do that for all NFL drafts and the entire history of the sport. There was no drama or fun last night in the NHL Draft Lottery. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Sears Heating and Cooling. Sears Heating and Cooling is a locally owned family business, and for 72 consecutive years, Columbus has counted on Sears Heating and Cooling to keep them comfortable.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and I'm going to piggyback on what Chops has already challenged you all with, dropping 40 pounds by the 4th of July. Sounds crazy, right? Well, I dropped 50 in that same amount of time with Awaken 180. 40 by the 4th is a cakewalk? Yeah, put a real goal on your calendar. It changes the game. Imagine this, your scale is flashing 230 pounds today. What if I told you it could read 190 by the 4th of July? Maybe it's sitting at 300 right now. Think about how sweet 260 would look. Easier on the eyes, and hey, for me, it's been easier on the golf course too. It's totally doable. Look at the stats. Me, 50 pounds. Chops, 95 pounds. Scotty Vegas is already down 40. We're talking real results, attainable goals, in a process so simple it feels like cheating, except it's totally legit. Awaken 180 is the cheat code we all need. Drop your 40 by the 4th and celebrate with a cracked beer and burger in hand like me. It starts with one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Dial 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll chat with local pro Wyatt Worthington, qualified for next week's PGA Championship, plus SI.com's Gary Van Sickle.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, presented by X-Golf, Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here for my friends at RCD RV. And when you want to get away, there is no better solution than hitting the open roads in an RV. Brings me back to my youth out west, under the stars, fresh mountain air. That could all be yours, and your journey starts at RCD RV. RCD has RVs to meet every budget with new campers as low as $13,995, and Ohio's best selection of pre-owned travel trailers, fifth-wheelers, motorhomes. 3 locations to serve you in Central Ohio or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Ohio's public school educators have dedicated their lives to giving their students what they need to succeed every day. This Teacher Appreciation Week, join OEA in saying thank you to the great teachers in your life. Tell us about an awesome teacher you know, and they could win a prize. Go to ohea.org to submit your nomination.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan Morning weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A quiet start across central Ohio, but storm chances will be back by the evening. We're going to start this morning with cloudy skies that'll start to clear by the lunch hour. We'll be in the low 80s for this afternoon with temperatures that fall as we head toward tomorrow. Again, those storms, though, that come between our warm weather today and cooler weather tomorrow could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Here's along here, little Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Carp out in Philly. Got our man Austin Ward with us, and of course Sharky. Coming up in our next segment around 6:35, Chris Doran, he's going to join the program crew with a busy week here. I mean, just craziness. Last weekend down in Monterrey, going there, stamping out the win, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a cup final, only to be thrust right back into MLS action with Hell is Real. So I was super excited that they had the off week last week. I'm like, that was pretty well earned over the amount of games that you played over the last month or so.
Need a breather with how compressed that schedule was. And then they had to readjust a couple home games that were scheduled around the final.
Yep.
And I was really frustrated by that. They need it because MLS knows that the crew, if they're playing in the Club World Cup, what a huge deal that would be.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're rested, ready, have the full lineup and complement available. And then they move both of those games to Saturdays during the football season.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
That's exactly what you want, right?
Why do they do that?
I don't know why they do it, but we're going to check in with Chris Doran coming up here around 6:35. Were you locked into the NHL draft lottery last night? Because I saw, to be quite honest with you, I didn't watch the draft lottery. My house was a little bit of pandemonium. That's like right in the wheelhouse during dinner time and witching hour for us. So I just said, I'm like, all right, I don't need to watch the draft lottery. But I was scrolling on Twitter, and this was probably about 4:30. And given the mistake of last year of them actually like putting the graphic up on the screen before they announced it. So the way the draft lottery works, from my understanding, allegedly, is that the draft lottery takes place before the television show. All right. So everybody knows what happens. Everybody understands. They get into a room together. There are media there to watch the process, and the ping pong balls or the number generator or however they do it decide the first pick.
Well, they have to rehearse it to make sure that it comes out the outcome they want.
Right. We don't like the Jackets moving up in the draft. Let's redo this. That was a rehearsal of the run. So I'm guessing so ESPN obviously has the rights to the NHL. They're televising the draft last night. And so Butchie, who John Butchercross, really good, solid, right? And he tweets out a picture from the ESPN set that has the San Jose Sharks with the number 1 overall pick, which they did. Like, they stayed at number 1. They had the best odds to get the number 1 pick. And so he has him at number 1. And then at number 2 on the picture that he had Utah. And I'm like, wait a minute. On the thing that I'm looking at, still Arizona. But obviously, they just moved the team. They announced that they're going to Utah. I'm like, Utah was the 2nd pick. They were expected to be like the 7th. Like, how is this working out? You get an expansion team, you move it, we're going to reward you with the 2nd pick of the draft.
Well, that's what they do now.
So this is coming out at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm like, boy, hopefully it's not this debacle again. Like, the Blackhawks picked 3rd, and the Jackets had dropped from 4th to 6th. Like, well,
that checks out.
That seems right. That seems correct. So I'm like, oh no, this can't be happening again. Not us. And then you get to the actual like draft lottery and the TV show, and they pull the numbers, and they do the ping pong balls, and the Jackets did not move up. They did not move down. There was actually no movement from the allotted odds to where they were supposed to pick at to anybody moving up or down.
I mean, and for the Jackets, that's a huge win because you just expect to get boned every time in the draft lottery. Once they get in there and they get the frozen envelopes, and sorry. I talked, Beam, let's see. I played golf on Friday with a member of the Jackets front office.
How did that go?
Good. We can talk about that later.
Okay.
But let's call him a Jackets insider.
All right.
And
the Jackets insider?
He's a Jackets insider.
All right.
And let's say he was half joking, but there's some truth to this every time that it's like people in Nationwide Arena were like, well, maybe the NHL will, because we know it's rigged.
Yeah.
Maybe they will help out. You know, you've got the Stadium Series, they're playing in the Horseshoe. Maybe they want to see a bright young star.
The attendance has been really good. They're going to have a new general manager.
Maybe there will be a reward for the Blue Jackets. Like, you could tell that they were trying to be optimistic about the situation that was coming on Tuesday night. And then the best case scenario that you can actually hope for as a Jackets fan is please just stay put and don't go any lower. So they got it. They did it. Hooray!
Off-season champions.
We got our expectation.
Raise the banner.
There's still a lot of off-season to go, Beam.
Well, they're not even into the offseason in the sport. You had the Rangers going into double overtime last night against the Canes. You had the Stars and the Avs playing last night. Both those games went into overtime. I was watching a little bit of that Rangers game. I'm like, wow, this is a lot different than the level that we're used to seeing here in the last couple of years. I'd like to get back to that level.
That would sure be fun. I was thinking about that last night because we also got the emails, everyone who's on the Blue Jackets ticket list, like, hey, come to Penn's in Dublin on Tuesday night for the NHL draft lottery party. And like 5 or 6 years ago, those Blue Jackets events were so fun. There wouldn't be anything that I would miss. Let's go do it. Like, I remember the expansion draft for Vegas. They had it at the Bluestones. Like, why are we watching this stupid event and having William Karlsson ripped out of our hands? Like, well, it's cool. Like, it's a bunch of Jackets fans and there's beer. Like, let's just go do it. But now it's like another year of the draft lottery and you want me to like go out and celebrate that? Like, I can't. Like, just give me a team to support. Like, I want to go back to sleep, to the feeling that I had when they were sweeping the Lightning.
Yeah, it was so good. Even the feeling that they had where they knocked Toronto out of the bubble.
Yeah.
Give me that. I'll take that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's go back to 2020. That'd be great.
Said no person ever on the date where the bubonic plague arrived from France into England.
I mean, they should have just kicked it off the ship. Like, don't let it on.
How did it get on there anyways? Was it rats, shark? Did you read more about the bubonic plague? I mean, was it...
I read about the plague, but I didn't read how it started. It just said the plague was on this ship from Bordeaux.
It came on in like a costume. It had Bobby Valentine's glasses on. It's like, don't worry about me. I'm not the plague.
You know, one of the most fatal pandemics, names, beginnings. Yeah.
Surely it was rats.
It's an early theory. A report by the medical faculty of Paris stated a conjunction that planets had caused a great pestilence in the air. Oh, that can't be right.
No,
that's predominant modern theory. Due to climate in Asia, rodents began to flee the dried out grasslands to more populated area, spreading diseases. And then with the Silk Road and everything that was going on with people traveling back in the day, and then it just kind of migrated. All right, well, yeah, let's not go back to 2020. Maybe beating the Maple Leafs in the playoffs, like I would take great joy out of that, but we don't need to do that in the bubble in their house. Play-by-play man of your Columbus Crew, Chris Doran, he's going to join us. We'll recap the Crew's demolition of Monterrey, preview Hell is Real with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, no major crashes to let you know about, but we are seeing busy traffic in a couple spots, including on I-70 near the downtown Columbus area, also on 161 out in New Albany. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
At the James at Ohio State, you're choosing the experts who understand there is no routine cancer, where your care is delivered by a highly specialized team dedicated to studying and treating just one type of cancer, yours. And where 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer. All at the region's only comprehensive cancer center, designated by the National Cancer Institute. You didn't choose cancer, but the choice of where to treat it is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Spring is a season full of new life and new opportunities to celebrate. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Anniversaries, new babies, graduations, plus everything in between, discover the perfect gift for every occasion. Visit us at the Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Are your feet stopping you from being active and making it difficult to get healthier? Trade in your bad feet and start the new year with good feet and get healthy in 2024. Wouldn't it be nice to work, walk, and play pain-free again?
With spring ball behind us, we're officially gearing up for the most anticipated football season ever. Excited, nervous, terrified to your very core? Think of us as your emotional safe space. Always your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Ready for an amazing deal? BreezeLine's fiber-powered internet, starting at $19.99 per month, offers the reliability you deserve and security you can trust. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, we've got all your needs covered with speeds up to 1 gig and our 2-year price lock guarantee. This deal gets even better with 2 free months of internet, free equipment, and free Wi-Fi your way to protect against cyber threats. Act now. Terms and conditions apply. Offer expires July 8th, 2024. Learn more at breezeline.com.
I'm Kelly Burris, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Columbus area attorneys. 10 West Broad Street, Suite 1550, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. CordellCordell.com.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
The Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wednesday edition of the program. Here to be Bobby Carpenter out on vacay. Not really vacay. I guess he's just out in Philadelphia. I don't know what he's doing. Might be vacay, might be work. Not sure.
He's getting some steaks.
Getting some Geno's, Pat's. You don't want to go there. Tourist traps.
Well, in 2 hours when Bill Landis is on, don't bring up those two places.
All right.
I'm just warning you now.
They who shall not be named. We got our friend Austin Ward with us, of course. And right now we're going to head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our good friend. He is play-by-play man of your Columbus crew, Chris Doran. Chris, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Before we move forward into Hell is Real and what is on the line coming up this Saturday over at lower.com field in Columbus, let's take a step back, shall we? Let's go back to last week, Chris, because I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun last week watching that game until the time crossed the midnight threshold down in Monterrey and the Crew's evisceration of Monterrey to stake their claim to what is going to be a tremendous final coming up here in the first weekend of June.
Yeah, the performance was terrific. Beamer, Austin, thanks for having me. I was very impressed with the way the team made it so businesslike and had two really big pockets of that game that they had to manage defensively, and they were able to do it and then come out on the other end with a couple of goals and then the exclamation point with Jason Russell-Rowe's performance in the end. It was extremely gratifying. It was surreal, certainly. and an opportunity for the Crew to go one more time against another great club in Pachuca on June 1st.
It was pretty awesome, Chris, watching it. And, over the course of the last 6 months or so, 6-7 months, we've seen some really high-level play out of this club. Obviously, the semifinal, I guess the Eastern Conference final against Cincinnati in the playoffs, the performance against Los Angeles. Then you get into this year, and although they're still trying to maybe crack it in on MLS, the Champions Cup, I think, is something that they poured a lot of their resources into this year. I mean, that second leg against Monterrey, Chris, you go in, you give up the early goal. This might not be good. But it was kind of the exact same thing that Tigres did to him, although the Crew looked much better in the second half in that leg against Monterrey in a more hostile environment than they did against Tigres. I wouldn't put anything past this club right now and what they can possibly accomplish.
Yeah, it's really hard to look at it both simultaneously macroscopically as well as microscopically, but in that situation where Columbus gave up the first goal, it was an own goal where Monterrey was counterattacking, and there were probably some errors in midfield defending and keeping our shape. In the end, Yevon Cheburko, a center back who, less than 9 months ago had arrived in this country and was still trying to get acclimated to the, which way the wind blew, was able to get caught up in that, running towards his own goal, which you never want to be doing as a defender, and puts the finishing touch on a ball that probably was going to be knocked in by the Monterrey player anyway. What I love about this is that Yevon Cheburko would have collapsed on the field probably 9 months ago, but he didn't. He used the power and the support from his teammates, and he got back into the game mentally, had a great finish to the match, and beyond that, helped guide the Crew to keep Monterrey at bay while the attacking side of the ball worked just fine for Columbus. All the things naturally that we expect to see from this group sort of fell into place. And I really think also working against Monterrey was the fact that there had been some rumors about their coach. They're very fickle in Liga MX. And I think that what we were probably seeing was the collapse of a team that's going to be reshaped in the offseason.
I have to admit, I should have been listening to the radio play-by-play broadcast instead of the television announcers last Wednesday. But since I was watching on Fox, Chris, it seemed like Stu Holden could not wrap his mind around the fact that Columbus was the better team across two legs. And I don't blame him for that. I think they were trying to put in context what was historically significant for an MLS team in a two-leg semifinal against Monterrey on the road, all those things. It rarely ever happens. So being surprised is one thing, but I just couldn't understand why there's such a perception within that series, and then what had happened in the previous series for the Crew, Chris. People seem to still be stunned and treat this like a major underdog team, and I don't know. Maybe I'm too biased. They don't feel like an underdog to me against anyone they play.
Yeah, Austin, I think that's a really good point. Obviously, I didn't hear anything that was spoken on Fox, but I would say this. There is continuing discussion always in this sport about being so close to the forest that you can't see the trees. I think in this case last week, being close to the forest is understanding what Wilfried Nazi's magic is all about with this group of players, how he can help players understand where they can be at their best and how they should be at their best, and that it doesn't matter who's standing on the other side of the ball. I think for anybody looking at this from a nonpartisan standpoint is probably saying Liga MX is still got the edge on Major League Soccer and is surprised, genuinely surprised, when a team from the Midwest travels down into a very big metropolitan area known solely for their soccer, and at times probably for their architecture and friendliness, and destroys a team like Columbus destroyed Monterrey. But that's exactly what happened. And those of us who are standing within the forest but see the trees just fine understand that that is part of what this club is all about.
Chris, as we check in with radio play-by-play man of your Columbus Crew, Chris Doran with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Can you tell us what the situation is going to be before we get to Hell is Real about the altitude in Pachuca and how big of a game changer that's going to be?
Yes, so we've talked about this in the past recently anyway. Salt Lake City is just under 5,000 feet above sea level. Denver is at about 5,400. So when you play the Colorado Rapids, that's what you deal with. We were at about 4.5 or 5 in Monterrey, and now you're going to 6+. And it's going to be a test. It always is. It's a test for even the other teams in Liga MX to go to Pachuca and play. The team, as you guys mentioned in the last segment, has moved the 2 home dates away from that couple of weeks of preparation, which is great. Obviously, the Seattle game had to be moved. And so Columbus, a week before their trip to Pachuca on June 1st, will be in Orlando for a Saturday night game. I was asking some team folks yesterday about plans for transportation and travel, and it has not been finalized yet. There is one scenario where Columbus leaves Orlando on Sunday morning of Memorial Day weekend and travels to Mexico and spends extra days down there. Now, what I think you sacrifice when you do that is you sacrifice your players being in their own beds, training in a facility that you're familiar with, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of different approaches that teams use when it comes to dealing with elevation, and I don't know that any one of them is wrong. What I do know is that the fitness and training staff with the Columbus Crew is at the top of their game, and they're going to figure out the best equation for getting their players acclimated. Truth be told, I think you have to be in the environment for probably 3 weeks to be solely acclimated. That's obviously not going to happen. So you're not going to fly in the night before for a game like that, but maybe you do go in a few days extra, given that you've got the window of time to do so.
Yeah. Chris, they've also got a couple days to get ready for Hell Is Real on Saturday night. I think it's enjoyable to me as a Columbus Crew season ticket holder to just revel in what seems to be the misery down the road in Cincinnati. They cannot seem to wrap their minds around Eastern Conference Finals and watching the Crew win trophies, and they've got a couple wooden spoons to show for it, but nothing else. And they seem so agitated down there, and then they get to come in on the heels of what the Crew just accomplished in the Champions Cup last week. It feels like there's a little extra chippiness growing every single year in this series. So set the stage for what you think it'll be like on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think the rub certainly this year, Austin, different from years past, is that Monterrey is the team that knocked Cincinnati out, and here we are yet again meeting up with Cincinnati.
What a bummer for them.
Yeah, I know. What I will say is this: I think comparison is the thief of joy, and if we spend more time comparing the black and gold against the orange and blue, we're going to lose focus on what's bringing us the most happiness from this current Columbus Crew generation of players and coaches and administrative staff. So I'd focus on where our strengths are, what entertaining soccer we've been able to enjoy. The fact that this will be the last home game for Crew supporters for about 6 weeks sort of sinks my heart a little bit because I just absolutely get totally jazzed walking into the lower.com field, and I know you do too, obviously, as a season ticket holder, walking in there and seeing the place full and seeing so many happy fans. So not only is this a welcome back party from the Monterrey series, but this is also a, hey, we'll see you in 6 weeks party too. And in the meantime, let's take care of Cincinnati. They are reeling just a little bit right now, but they are a very dangerous team. They're riding a streak of 3 wins. Yeah, they got away with one in Orlando. Maybe they should have had a couple of more goals. They have some injuries. They do have one red card. It's not really consequential that they're dealing with. And they've got a tough assignment this weekend in Columbus. I think for the Crew, they're anxious to get back and be maybe celebrated a little bit by the local supporting group because of the success in Monterrey. And I think it's incumbent upon the supporters to send Columbus off onto this 6-week road trip, which includes the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, and make sure that they know that they're loved when they leave the stadium on Saturday night.
I don't think there's going to be any doubt about that. Going to send them off in the right way. Chris, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for hopping on with us this morning, buddy. Looking way forward to the call on Saturday night for Hell Is Real. Have a great rest of the week, bud, and we'll check in again soon, okay?
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the day.
There he goes. Chris Doran, play-by-play man of your Columbus Crew with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guests Hotline. The Boogeyman that's about to show up at an NBA playoff series. I didn't say that. Somebody else did. That and Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, one crash we're watching on the ramp from I-71 northbound to 670 westbound. The right lane slightly blocked off on that ramp as crews work to clear this out. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Hey there, friends. Bo here. You planning that summer vacation? Skip the long lines in the crowded cities. Get away in an RV from my friends at RCD RV. Summer nights will soon be calling, and RCD RV is here to take your camping experience to the next level. They provide the best brands, the best service, awesome after-sales support. They are family-owned and operated in Central Ohio for over 50 years. You will feel it the second you walk on one of their lots. Over 650 new and pre-owned RVs in stock. 3 locations to serve you in Central Ohio or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, let's talk about the bedroom for a moment. That moment of intimacy. I don't think people call it that, but you know what I'm saying, right? The time where maybe you're ready for a little oh yes, and instead it's turned into an oh no for you. Because maybe you're having a little bit of an issue in the bedroom. So, all right, my guys at BlueChew.com are there to help you out. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. So if you don't like to swallow pills, good news. Blue Chew's tablets are a performance enhancement for the bedroom that can help you gain extra confidence when it's time to perform, and you don't have to swallow it. You can chew it. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com right now. And here's a special deal for my listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code BONE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BONE to receive your first month free. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BONE.
The Memorial is coming, and we'll be there, and you'll be there, and we'll all be, you get the point. The Fan is broadcasting live from the Memorial.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling and Orthopedic One.
The Fan.
I just wanted to give a shout out to all the moms out there. Being a teenager can be tough, but I can't imagine how hard it must be to be a mom. You're always juggling a million things at once and you never get a break. That's why I think all the moms out there deserve a day of pampering at Kenneth's Salon and Day Spa. They work so hard and never ask for anything in return.
Celebrate your mom with a gift card from Kenneth's. For every $100 spent on gift cards, you'll get another $10 bonus card redeemable in June, July, or August. Get yours at kenneths.com or visit any Kenneth's location.
At the end of every season, a coach evaluates his team. Just like at the end of winter, you should have your roof evaluated. Hi, I'm Bob McElligott for Schottenstein Roofing. Call the expert team at Schottenstein Roofing at 614-321-8888 or go to schottensteinroofing.com to get a free inspection of your roof. And if you need work done on it, don't forget, Schottenstein Roofing has unbeatable value and all of their work is backed for life. That in addition to interest-free financing options. Schottenstein Roofing, a proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now, secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We all have something to get off our chest. Therapy is a safe space to share whatever is weighing you down, so you can get some relief and find a solution. BetterHelp offers professional, affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Let it out with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/like today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/like.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at shower and storm chances coming back for this evening, but a lot of dry weather during the daytime hours today. We'll start out cloudy and in the mid-60s and warm to the 70s by lunch. Highs will top out in the low 80s this afternoon, but those storms that come this evening could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware as we head into tonight. I'm Dopo 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Healthy, leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing. For top quality and a price match guarantee, visit schottensteinroofing.com.
Oh, Sharky. Happy Wednesday to you.
Oh, Coaster Bob Day in about 40 minutes.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. Reggie Miller was known for shooting three-point daggers during his playing days with the Indiana Pacers. He was also known for his trash talking, which actually continues today as an analyst. Knicks fans hate Reggie for the multiple times that he tormented them in the playoffs. Well, now the Knicks and the Pacers are meeting in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, and Miller will be at the Garden tonight for Game 2 with the TNT crew. He appeared on the Dan Patrick radio show and said, Beamer, just know the boogeyman is coming back to town to call the game.
Well, the boogeyman should have reappeared a couple of nights ago if it wasn't for a kickball violation that wasn't kickball, and then Miles Turner having a legal moving screen where she wasn't doing anything illegal or wasn't moving. So the boogeyman should already be up 1-0 in that series at the Garden, but unfortunately for Pacers fans, that wasn't the case. I mean, when was the Reggie to Spike? I mean, the choke.
Oh gosh.
I mean, when was that? Early 90s?
Mid-90s?
95 or so?
All right, so it would have been 29 years since that has happened. I mean, that's one of the most iconic scenes in NBA history. And I love how almost 30 years later, Reggie is far past his playing days, but is still getting shots in over the Knicks. It's great.
I remember watching that game live back in the days when I was like, there's no NBA game that I could ever miss. Like, you never know. And like, oh, this one's over. And Reggie pulled off that comeback single-handedly. That was one of the most insane finishes I've ever seen in an NBA playoff game. And the Knicks fans have to live with that forever.
I like it too, because Reggie leans into the villain, right? Of course he does. He has to, and he loves it. And I thought it was pretty awesome that he goes, I'll be surprised if during the game I don't hear Reggie sucks. Actually, I'll be a little hurt if I don't hear Reggie sucks. I kind of want that. It's great, man. It's a traditional rivalry that was fantastic during the 90s, and they've had some nice playoff series in the mid-2000s, but to kind of get that rekindled for, obviously, Jalen Brunson doing what he's doing and the Pacers going to be in the story, like how far can they get into the NBA playoffs? I just think it's a great little layer of drama that the NBA is having right now with Reggie going back to the Garden.
And an iconic choke gif.
Obviously.
If you need it. Just to trash talk your buddies.
The NFL is the only league where fans get excited for the schedule release. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it, because we already know every team's 17 opponents. Yeah. We just don't know the dates that they're being played. Anyway, the NFL will release the schedule on May 15th, 8 p.m. on NFL Network. It will probably get better ratings than the NBA. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be in the finals yet, obviously, but it's crazy. But Austin, that's when you get to find out whether your favorite team is playing on Christmas or Thanksgiving or Monday night or Thursday night.
And you know what? There'll just be no other way to find out that information, Shark, unless you watched it live. So it's got to get crazy ratings. It's like
see it live.
It's like the finale for MASH. There's just once it's gone, it's gone. You'll never get the update. Now, I will say, it's a football thing specific. I don't think so, but you have such few games. College football and the Big Ten have started taking some notes on that, and now, some years they've had to do multiple schedules, so they got to do multiple multiple releases on the Big Ten Network. But they're starting to lean into that a little bit as well with the 365-day calendar for college football and putting some of that stuff out there and releasing the schedule over an hour and a half on BTN, which I think is kind of cool. again, like football,
You're
you
part
have
of the problem.
You have such. I already know what the schedule is before that show starts, so it's not for me, Beam. I mean, I don't hate to put that out there for the world, but it's true. But you get to play, like, you have such few opportunities, and you have to schedule weddings for the people in your family who don't know any better,
I know.
And you want to take a trip and see stadiums and like find out what day that is. I do think that part is kind of cool, but like, you don't have to tune in to see it. It's already gonna be posted on social media within 5 seconds.
Meredith's cousin is getting married either the Michigan State weekend or the Iowa weekend. I'm like, well, I mean, it's in St. Louis. I got to go to it. Gonna miss a Buckeye game again. I don't want to get on this pedestal again. Because
you have to. You have to keep beating the drum.
I know. Stop having fall weddings.
No fall weddings.
Stop having fall weddings. And
Also,
I give them a little bit of credit because they live down in Charlotte, and I guess they're originally from Chicago. So I mean, I guess they're in Big Ten land, but not really. It's not the same as it is. Like, they're not getting married in Columbus, but don't have weddings in Columbus unless you want people to be tied into the game and what they're doing.
There's 2 off dates this year.
Plan it around that. It's not that difficult. But again, going back to the NFL schedule release, it's one of my favorite things too, because the next day, so it's Wednesday, May 15th, I think is the announced
next
date,
Wednesday.
is when they're going to do it. Thursday of next week, we're going to go through all 274 games or 278 games or however many games.
What a show that'll be.
Oh, we're just going to go through and do the whole win-loss record for the entire NFL.
I think you should rank every game from 1 to 274.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like that'll be really electrifying content.
Can I be on for that?
Of course. We're going to have you on for 3 hours. And then we're going to have, because next Thursday we'll have Albert Breer on, and he's going to break it down and see if he agrees with us. Live Golf is coming to college basketball. What does that mean? I saw the story yesterday. My eyeballs about popped out of my head. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we're still watching crews clear up a crash on the ramp from I-71 northbound to 670 westbound. The right shoulder slightly blocked off as crews work to clear this out. Other than that, the rest of your interstates are looking clear. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it Almost Heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Picture this. You arrive at your hotel. You have an important online meeting lined up with clients from all across the country. You have your laptop open, ready to begin, and the Wi-Fi is so terrible, you can't even connect. These types of stressful situations happen all the time, but they don't have to. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you have access to their free high-speed Wi-Fi, so you can take care of those critical emails, join your meetings on time, and even unwind by streaming your favorite shows without having to worry. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book direct at lq.com. Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. The NHL Draft Lottery was held last night for all the teams that didn't qualify for the playoffs. The Sharks won the lottery and will get the first pick, followed by Chicago, Anaheim, and Columbus. In Game 1 of their second-round NBA playoff series in Boston, the Cavaliers overcame an early 12-2 deficit to take a 23-21 lead. It was the only lead they would enjoy all night. The Celtics outscored Cleveland in every quarter on the way to an easy 120-95 victory. In baseball, the Reds are 3 games under 500 for the first time this season after suffering a 6-2 home loss to Arizona. That's 6 straight losses for Cincinnati. In Cleveland, Andy Ibanez was 4 for 4 with a walk. He hit 2 homers, scored 4 times, and drove in 4 runs as the Tigers dumped the Guardians 11-7. This Sports Center is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI has been voted Best Credit Union 6 years in a row by C-Bus Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more.
A radio show hosted by 2 former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, Mark the Shark. Bob out on vacay today and tomorrow. He'll be back on Friday, coming up here at 8:35 this morning, about an hour and a half away from right now. Your comrade, Bill Bender, he's going to join the program. Bob is actually in Philadelphia right now. We're going to ask Bill Bender, or not Bill Bender, him too. We have him on.
We're not going to talk to him about it. He doesn't know anything about Philadelphia.
We'll ask Bill Landis at 8:35 too why he hates Pat and Geno's and what his recommendation for a cheesesteak in the city of Philadelphia will be.
Well, if you want to ask him about anything else, like save that, because otherwise the whole segment is just going to be about steaks.
Well, they say in the interviews, Austin, you should really, first of all, don't say hi to people and ask them how they're doing.
Okay.
But you really want to, hit the ground running in the interview, and you want to get the most important stuff out of the way first. And I think that for today is probably going to be the topic du jour. So Bill Landis, he's going to join the program coming up here.
Then we're going to have to call him again tomorrow to actually talk about the Buckeyes.
He just come in studio for 3 hours tomorrow. It'll be fine.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Sharky, Celtics 120, Cavs 95. Bad Cavalanche last night. Bad Cavalanche.
It was so ugly. Boston came out and started shooting threes. The Cavs went down 12-2, and they recovered.
Yeah.
They survived. They came back and took a 23-21 lead. And I thought, okay, maybe we'll keep it close. Nah, it was bad. A couple things. The Cavs have played 8 playoff games so far. Twice they've scored 100 points.
Yep. They won both those games, though.
You can't win in the NBA. And the Cavs have a really good defense, top 5 defense in the league, but you got to score points in that league to win. And then also Jared Allen, it doesn't sound like he's going to be back anytime soon. He's still in a lot of pain, so much pain that he's having problems sleeping at night. So I don't think he's going to be our Willis Reed to come bail us out. I know that's a reference that anybody under the age of 50 doesn't know, but yeah. Beam, I said yesterday in our daily fan poll that I thought it'd go 5, and yeah, I think that'll probably hold true.
Well, you predicted this yesterday, though. You said that the Cavs were going to lose Game 1, and then Game 2 on Thursday, they were going to come up for a big win in Boston. So, that's still on the table for you.
It is. It is. I'm not so confident about that.
I'm not sure that they're
You
they're
also
built
said
for this.
Cavs in 5.
You're right. I did. I meant Celtics in 5.
You're changing your pick. So they're back at it Thursday at 7 o'clock. So they got that going for them, which is nice. I read this article yesterday, and it blew my mind. This was from Matt Norlander and Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. And I'm like, boy, that's interesting and very different from anything else we've had in college athletics before. A one-of-a-kind revolutionary regular season men's basketball event to be staged later this year in Las Vegas is expected to be finalized in the coming weeks. So a mid-season tournament, right? The Buckeyes would play in that. We went to Maui a couple of years ago. I forget where they went. They've gone to like the Bahamas. They played in that like South Florida showcase that they've done. Like they're all over the place, right? Big time college basketball program. Like you're playing in one of those midseason events. Like you had the Gavitt games a couple of years ago with the Big Ten and the Big East, and you do different things like that. CBS Sports Showcase they play in with Kentucky and Carolina, UCLA. So I mean, we're used to those things happening in the regular season of college basketball. But this is where it gets pretty wonky. Its selling point for this tournament in Las Vegas is based on the major factor that has drastically altered college sports over the last 3 years. That
what could it be?
NIL compensation for players. Games will be played in November under the umbrella of an event dubbed the Players Era Festival, which also will include live music and other attractions for fans amid the glitz of the Las Vegas Strip during Thanksgiving week. In a college sports first, the event will also include $1 million in NIL payouts for 8 participating schools. What's more, players involved will have future earnings opportunities through long-term NIL contracts that they get from this tournament. That is something that I had never even thought was going to be on the horizon. But now, I mean, we like the basketball tournament. Winner gets $1 million, and that's cool. Like players who played here at Ohio State or played at Dayton or played at Duke, they convene when they're done with their playing careers, and Jared Sullinger coaching the team out there. Like, it's really cool. And the winner of that gets $1 million. Now it's going to be active college basketball players playing in an in-season event that's going to go towards your schedule that are also going to be earning up to $1 million in playing in this tournament. That is crazy to me.
It turns out that a lot of businesses are willing to share revenue with college athletes. Who would have guessed? Mm-hmm. And this was being prevented for so long. For what? Like, I hate that we have to keep having these same conversations, and they all lead themselves back to the same point. That's like, hey, NCAA and college presidents and athletic directors, just stop. Everyone is recognizing the fact that the players deserve to share the revenue. They're willing to put up the money to play these games and stage these games and have events. Do the same thing immediately. They are coming around to it. They're warming to the idea. They're going to cut through a bunch of red tape and try and get there. Like, we know there's been progress on that front, but things like it shouldn't take outside interests to be like, you know what? What's missing from your prestigious annual events? Like, we're going to take control because we're just going to pay them directly. Like, you shouldn't have to outsource college sports games to whatever outside interests are going to pony up money. Like,
so my biggest question then, on the heels of this announcement that's going to happen Thanksgiving week, is then let's just say a company gets together and, right, I mean, CBS and TNT Turner, they have the rights to the NCAA tournament. Let's just say that Fox says, oh, you know what? We've got $80 million. We're just going to put $80 million into this own tournament that we're running in the postseason, and the winner's going to get X amount. Team that comes in second place, it's going to be a 16-team tournament, 32-team tournament. Whatever you participate in this event, you're going to get those dollars. Like, that's just naturally where my mind goes. Like, if this happens during the regular season, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If a TV company and very wealthy sponsors and donors and actual companies want to get in and spend their ad dollars somewhere, what is preventing this postseason tournament from happening with a much larger payout than what goes on in the NCAA?
I think that there are conversations going on about that already, and it's probably like the NIT is probably the one that is under the most direct threat, because which one would you rather go play? The one where they're going to put up money or the NIT? That seems like a no-brainer. I think contractually, there's everyone who is in NCAA governance at this point, there's no way that they could opt out of the NCAA tournament to go do that and play for money in a Fox hypothetical tournament that we're throwing around. But again, those are real threats that you're talking about, Beam, that have to be considered, and why there has to be more urgency for this same ongoing like federal legislation, revenue sharing, collective bargaining, so that you don't even have to contend with situations like that, or even, God forbid, someone have to choose between the NCAA tournament and that. Like, those are real things that have been happening and have been happening for 2 decades because the NCAA and everyone else has been too slow to react to the current era of college sports. Like, it needs to be done immediately, and I still don't have any optimism that it will, which makes me sad.
I just that's why I comped it to Live Golf. I'm like, it's just this giant sum of money that is being involved in it. There's going to be music. It's like a festival. It's like a party. I'm like, okay, well that's and two, by the way, you just mentioned the name of the tournament. Like now you're in the era of the players, and that's what this event is being called. But it says right here that Alabama, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, Texas A&M will all be playing. This is going to be an 18 tournament. Now they said that going forward, it's going to move up to a 16-team tournament. They're still looking for one more team, but Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Michigan, Syracuse, and Virginia have all engaged in discussion about potentially playing in it next year.
But I would be stunned if Ohio State doesn't have its hat.
At least give it a look. Give it a look.
There is absolutely no downside to it. And I think anything that college basketball can do, this market is obviously different, and the week of Thanksgiving is never going to be about basketball.
Right.
But this is the kind of move that college basketball as a whole needs to make if it's going to captivate the attention. The season is too long. I've said that a million times.
And we were just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to be going head to head with college football, and the kids are playing too many games. It's not in anyone's best interest to be starting in October with preseason and all those other things and exhibition games. But if you want to compete, and if that's the length of time that you're going to be, trying to get eyeballs on your sport, this is the kind of thing and the kind of stakes that you're going to have to pursue.
One coach participating in the Players Era Festival told CBS Sports, if there are events where there's an extraordinary amount of money involved and there's no donor fatigue involved in this, how do you not play in this? And then he goes on to say, there's not a decision that we make that is not NIL driven. I'll play in the parking lot of the Mandalay Bay. Just clear the blank and check.
I'm trying to think. That's not the ideal parking lot. So it's a little bit sloped out there. You can do better than the Mandalay.
They're going to get the gravel roller out there. They'll make sure that they'll be fine.
Yeah, what could go wrong when you're trying to stage college basketball games anywhere other than a hard court? Maybe put it on a battleship.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Was that Michigan State and Duke maybe playing on the deck?
Well, remember the Buckeyes
of a naval battleship.
The Buckeyes tried and it got canceled.
That's right, because the floor was wet.
Yeah.
Who would imagine a ship out at sea is going to have a wet floor?
Huh? Really thought this one through.
Hey, I give them credit. At least they're trying to conjure up ideas.
But that's the kind of thing that we were talking about like 10 years ago with college basketball trying to get eyeballs on the sport. Here's the other way: put actual stakes to the game, because in November there are none. There's none. Michigan State and Duke and these programs have figured that out a long time ago. Kansas, Kentucky, hey, play right before the college football playoff selection show. Maybe people will watch it. You have two brand names that people recognize and a show that people are actually tuning in for. Let's do that. There's no downside to winning or losing. At least this way, you're like, these kids are playing for $1 million. I bet they're going to try a lot harder than they might be in another November tune-up game against whoever.
You mean to tell me December 20th you're not watching Ohio State on the road at Happy Valley in Penn State?
Not usually.
What about the one up in Cleveland, like December 28th against West Virginia?
Well, let's see. I was, pretty wrapped up in bowl prep. So it was not on my radar.
By the way, too, it's going to get even wonkier this year because the college football playoff is now going to 12 teams.
Yeah, they have no shot.
That is going to move all the way up before Christmas, I think, is the first game, right? Like the week of December 20th?
Whatever it is, I don't have the calendar in front of me. December 15th is what springs to mind for me, but it's in that window right around when Army-Navy is traditionally played. So it's going to be happening right then, like coming into a campus site near you. Hopefully not near us, but could be.
I'm trying to see here, 2024 season. The first round games played Friday, December 20th.
20th, all right.
Friday, December 20th. And then you got 3 games on Saturday, the 21st. The quarterfinals then spin around 11 days later. That would be your traditional New Year's Eve, New Year's Day quarterfinals. Your semifinals are going to be played when the national championship game is traditionally played on the 9th and 10th. And Monday, January 20th, I mean, this is 1 month of playoff games. January 20th is going to be your college football playoff national championship. It's going to take a while for me to get used to that.
And poor college basketball.
Where do they fit in?
They don't.
Where do they fit into the schedule?
You get February and March, and that's it.
One Buckeye taken in the draft is really going to like his landing spot. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're watching a crash near Easton on I-270 northbound. Right now, shoulders are blocked off, and crews are responding to that crash again on I-270 northbound, just beyond Easton Way. Expect some lane closures over there. Also watching a crash still on I-71 northbound to 670 westbound that has the right lane blocked. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Whether this is her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct is everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Says who and or what? Those are the questions behind every eco guarantee. Other companies might promise same day this, guarantee that, and best in class every other thing. But just ask, says who? Says some announcer guy or cartoon character? You really want to take their word on it? Why not get your guarantees from the founder and owner of the company, me? Then there's or what. Too often, there's no promise make right, or it's a meaningless waived service fee. ECO doesn't even charge service fees, and our or what is always real. Last summer, we gave 277 families a $1,500 discount on their AC system when we missed our same-day deadline. That's a real deal make right. I know, because I had to pay for it. We also delivered same-day replacement service and same-day repair for many hundreds of others, because Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians really will come through for you when you need us to. Says me, or we'll make it right.
At geteco.com.
Score a goal with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the checking account that rewards you for supporting the crew. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, official credit union of the Columbus Crew, federally insured by NCUA.
We go to war for you. I'm attorney Robert Scherger. After an accident, do you feel like when you have the answers, the insurance company changes the questions? Let us go to war for you and chop them down to size. Don't let them play games. Call us, 877-WAR-FOR-YOU.
WarForYou.com. Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry, who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning white water to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A quiet start across central Ohio, but storm chances will be back by the evening. We're going to start this morning with cloudy skies that'll start to clear by the lunch hour. We'll be in the low 80s for this afternoon with temperatures that fall as we head toward tomorrow. Again, those storms, though, that come between our warm weather today and cooler weather tomorrow could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Heading to work? Keep listening to the guys at the office.
Stream the show at 971thefan.com or download the Fan app.
This is Morning Juice.
Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, Mark the Shark Cruise along here. A little Wednesday edition of the program. Sun's starting to come up here in Columbus. You got any damage? You got any texts from your lovely wife about anything?
Not yet.
All right, that's good.
We'll see. I mean, it was coming down.
It was. I mean, we were in the basement last night. We told that right off, Jump Street, how our sleep schedules were maybe a little bit messed up today. Meredith hopped in bed around 9:15. William had the zoomies. We put him to bed around like 8:45 instead of the traditional 7:30 day stoppage for him. He wasn't having it. He was like the ultimate warrior on the ropes. I mean, on his crib doing all kinds of fun stuff. And then I felt bad too, because he finally fell asleep, and then an hour later, we're waking him up and taking him to the basement. But I'm like, man, the sirens were going off for a little bit of time. We got the buzz on the phone. I'm like, I'm watching the coverage here. I'm like, they said it's like right along 161, and then they said Morse Road. I'm like, all right, it's time to hunker down.
Now it's
the
real.
Basement. But I felt bad because I'm like, he's finally got to sleep. He'd been up for 6.5, 7 hours at that point. I'm like, man, let's just hopefully you go back to bed. And I'm telling you what, when we put him back when the storm was down, boom, all of a sudden, his lights were out, which was a great thing because then it became super stormy afterwards too. I mean, it didn't let up for quite a while. But yeah, when we were down in the basement, man, it was windy, it was hail, it was a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, we were getting pounded up there in Northwest Columbus, and we've had such a, rough run of weather.
Yeah.
Really, going back to late February with a previous tornado warning and spending time down there. That was the one that was in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had
happy birthday alarm for you.
Yeah, loved it. It was perfect. Great way to start that. But we had, part of the fence go down, and it's like, all right, we'll put it back up and fix it. Had my father-in-law come in and get some help last week. And so that was we're sitting in the basement last night, and I was like, do you think that it's going to survive this one? I'm like, I don't know. It had just been I was able to piece it back together a little bit, and then another storm would come and it would knock it back down. I'm like, I need help. I need a professional, contractor to come help, which I do have in the family. And he came, and that was 5 days ago, late last week. It's finally looking like it's back to full go and 100% and keeping the neighbors' dogs out of the yard.
Was it okay last night?
I haven't checked. Right. It was dark this morning, and my full attention was surviving the darkness to get into the car and get down here. And I didn't want to know if it was down, because then the whole mood of the show could have been affected by me worrying about the fence and having to go through this whole process again.
So it's to keep the dogs out, not to keep your dog in.
No, we have not been able to, or we haven't replaced Gibson yet. So there are two black labs. The house behind us has no fence.
Okay.
And generally they're very well behaved, these two dogs. We rarely see them. But when we knew it was time, we have to get this fence fixed again, we were sitting there a week and a half ago, and the screen door's open, and I turn around, and the black lab was in our backyard and sniffing the door. And Allie's sitting there working. I'm like,
what do you guys got for dinner?
I'm like, sir, you need to take a hike. Get out of here. And he's like, all right, I'm gone.
Get out of here, scram.
That was the first time he'd ever done that. And that was because
he's getting a little too comfortable.
Allie kept saying, it's not a problem. Those dogs never come back here. And then finally it did. Okay, well,
got to get the fence fixed.
They're getting too used to the fact that fence is gone.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everybody out there this morning didn't have any significant damage, but it was a pretty strong little storm last night. I know we had to get the kids up and get them down to the basement, make sure everything was good. And I looked at William, and I'm like, dude, to be honest with you, and we were having a nice little chat.
Yep.
I'm sure he can fully understand what I'm saying to him. And I'm looking at Theo, too, and I'm like, without you two here, I'm like, Meredith's probably sleeping through the night. I'm sitting there kind of maybe doing the old like Midwestern dad thing, like sitting
on the porch,
watching this thing roll in. Like it was a little too strong to be doing that though. So everybody was good, so we were fine. But hopefully everybody out there this morning who's listening had a safe night last night because it was a little bit crazy. What are your thoughts on Cade Stover going to the Houston Texans? I know we chatted with you a few weeks ago about that when Cade was ultimately drafted by the Texans, and I think it's going to be great. He's obviously teaming up with C.J. Stroud, but you look down there, Houston, and the revitalization, the rejuvenation of that organization. Obviously, it began last year. They had the Will Anderson pick. They go with DeMeco Ryans, and then they turn around. They take C.J. with the second overall pick. It seems to be, Austin, a winning strategy and a winning formula for teams. Like, all right, well, we're gonna take Buckeyes.
A growing number of franchises have figured that out. Not all of them, but Houston's here putting a weapon around C.J. Stroud that he's already familiar with and is having, a previous experience throwing to Cade Stover, working with him, understands what he's all about. I think that's a big deal and a perfect fit. I mean, I'm surprised a little bit by how long Cade Stover lasted on the draft board. And I think probably the medical and injury history for him played into that. It was a little bit of a quote-unquote slide for him. I think there were a lot of conversations in the build-up to the draft, like, he's certainly not tight end number one. Could he be number two? Could the Bengals be interested in him? Could he be a second-round pick? A lot of those conversations are being had. There, people that understand the upside for Cade Stover had him on that draft board high, and I think the only reason that he could slide to a situation like that for Houston was people being concerned about the number of snaps that he played in college and the wear and tear that he put on his body. But if there's anyone I would expect to be able to take that challenge and prove that it's not going to slow him down, it's Farmer Gronk. So you give him a little bit of extra motivation perhaps and put him around C.J. Stroud, who can find a tight end and consistent weapons. Like, it's hard to ask for much more than that for all parties involved.
Here was Nick Caserio, the Texans general manager, talking about Cade Stover and ultimately why they ended up selecting him in the NFL draft a couple of weeks ago.
This guy is as tough and hard-nosed a player that they had in the program. Cade's a good example of a player who has only played tight end for 2 years, so he's certainly not a finished product, but he has the mindset and the work ethic to improve. I mean, how he was raised. I mean, this guy is everything you want in a football player and then more. I mean, he probably played hurt this year. I mean, I think he had an MCL or had an issue where, quite frankly, it would have limited some other players, but he just braced it up and he just kept playing football. So, I mean, I don't want to speak for DeMeco, but I think we feel the same way. This is probably one of our favorite, football players in the entire draft, regardless of position, because of his mentality, because of his mindset. And he still is developing as a player. I mean, 2 years ago, he was playing defensive end in the Rose Bowl against Utah. Now he's, played tight end for 2 years, and here he is getting picked in the bottom of the fourth round. And his best position is, we think tight end. That's why we drafted him. But, I mean, blue collar as they come, and from a makeup, traits, toughness, mentality, I mean, this is an elite guy.
Beam, he's also underselling the injury stuff. I think people could see the huge knee brace that Cade Stover was wearing throughout last year and be like, oh, well, there he is. He slowed down.
Robot elbow brace, too.
But and he also, in the middle of the season, secretly snuck in a wrist surgery. So the man was working through so many injuries and really was throughout his career at Ohio State. It's a byproduct in some ways of the way he plays and the way he approaches the work ethic. Like, he's not ever going to ask out of a snap, a rep, a drill in the weight room. And sometimes he can be his own worst enemy in that front. But when you're becoming a professional, that's a key part of the job. You're on your own to do it, and that'll never be an issue with Cade Stover.
Yeah, best ability is availability. We say it 1,000 times, and Cade Stover's never going to take himself out of a drill. So they got a good one down there in Houston to pair up with C.J. Stroud, who's, by the way, the second best odds to win NFL MVP this year.
I mean, he should have won MVP last year, to be honest.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it was a pretty crazy town. So obviously they got a good one in Cade down there in H-Town. Let's go to the current Buckeyes, shall we? Which current Buckeye has the best odds to be taken highest in next year's draft? We'll do that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
A good Wednesday morning to you. Right now, we are watching a crash on I-270 northbound right near that exit to Easton. Lanes are blocked off as crews work to clear this up. Also, we are still watching a crash on the ramp from I-71 northbound to 670 westbound that has the right lane blocked. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan traffic.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Right now during cheap 4x4 season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for $379 a month for 42 months with $3,837 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial Services. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024. Jeep is a registered trademark.
When you have to stop but don't really want to, stop at BP. Because BP has everything you need to keep it going. Fuel to keep the adventures going. The BP Me app to keep the savings and the commutes going. Snacks and drinks to keep the crew going. And the BP Me Rewards Visa to keep the rewards going and going and going. A stop at BP isn't a stop at all. Keep it going.
I just wanted to share how much my mom means to me. She works hard every day to make sure my siblings and I are happy and healthy. She never takes any time for herself and always puts us first. That's why I think she deserves a gift card to Kenneth's Salon and Day Spa. She deserves a day to be pampered because she's always taking care of us. She deserves a day to be treated like a queen.
Celebrate your mom with a gift card from Kenneth's. For every $100 spent on gift cards, you'll get another $10 bonus card redeemable in June, July, or August. Get yours at kenneths.com or visit any Kenneth's location.
Save up to $150 on select sets of 4 Vredestein tires at AAA Car Care Plus. Not a member? Not a problem. Everyone can save up to $150 on Vredestein tires through May 31st at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. Feel great, Columbus.com. The Fan.
Keep on swiping that card, baby. Keep on swiping that card. Charge it to winning. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here in 1 hour's time, 8:35 this morning, Bill Landis. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him. More importantly, we're going to talk Philly cheesesteaks, where Bob should go in the city of brotherly love.
Landis has got it covered, I promise you.
I would imagine. I would hope so. I would hope that he has that covered.
I got to have a tour around Philly with him last month.
VIP tour.
Yeah, everyone should have the opportunity. You know what? It's a little bit of a downtime for the Buckeyes here in May. So I think Landis should go home for a couple weekends.
There's no downtime with the Buckeyes.
No, well, there's a huge element of truth to that as well. And we can get, something is always happening in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. But when Bill gets an opportunity, yes, there is construction and field work and all that stuff going on. Great point. But I thought, like an only Landis account where he's just leading people around Philadelphia. I think he could make a little side hustle.
Could you do that for us out in
100%.
in Laramie?
I'll do it for free.
All right, perfect. Just buy you a couple of beers.
But that's not. I don't get that.
Ranger.
I don't get that bumper anymore. I don't know what happened to it.
Hey, man, I don't know what happened either. All I know is that your segment is brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I asked the fine folks who do stuff here, audio, I said, hey, can we get that tag on Austin's intro? And then all of a sudden, we just got the Bishop and Friends tag. We just got the Bishop and Friends intro for you.
I was so rattled the first time that happened on a Friday. That's not my intro.
Me too. I'm like, okay, that's strange. We've doctored up an intro just for you. We have curated it to your liking.
And how can this be? It's Monday again? It's 10:30 now?
No, it's 7:30 on a Friday. Weekend's about to begin. I'm about to crack open a beer.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was so shaken.
I'm still shaking.
And now it's gone. It's gone forever.
Yeah, it's just
you
gone.
called in last Friday morning, or I called in.
It's just gone.
Shark called me.
I can't wait to talk to you coming up in 48 hours, actually.
Yeah, you're going to be sick of me by then. It is 48 hours from now.
I know
Wow.
it is.
What a moment.
I know it is.
I'm going to be busy.
That's going to be the long tease. Actually, so are we. We're going to be busy too.
Yeah.
We're not going to call you. FanDuel released their odds for the overall draft picks for the.
Can never get those too early.
Yeah, who's going to go number one overall? You want to take a shot at the dark here? Who has the highest odds, or I guess the lowest odds, to be the number one overall pick according to FanDuel for the 2025 NFL Draft?
To be the number one overall pick?
Number one overall pick.
Oh, boy. I don't. Just hit me with it. It's going to be a quarterback.
Yeah, so it changed. Shadur Sanders was actually number one overall last week, and that has changed.
People realized how ludicrous that is.
Yeah, with the stuff going on, his draft odds took a little bit of a hit here. So he is in number two at plus 450. Shadur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado. Number one is Carson Beck at 3-1 odds. Out of the University of Georgia.
Where's Quinn Ewers?
Quinn Ewers, Austin, is third.
I was going to say, I think
he's fourth, actually. I'm sorry. He's fourth on the list at 14-1. James Pierce, defensive lineman out of Tennessee, is third at plus 650.
Because people have been wanting to bet on Quinn Ewers as a first-round draft pick for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And now the opportunity is there. It's right for the taking. The Carson Beck stuff is interesting to me. I think he's a very good player. Do I think that he's the potential best quarterback in the country? I'm not sold on that idea quite at this point. And I'm not taking anything away from him whatsoever. I think he's very good. But I don't know that there's a year's worth of hype to go build on, or that teams would be tanking to take Carson Beck. I don't believe that part.
But we talked about this last week because you were in the Friday after the first round of the NFL draft. Never overestimate the ability for NFL teams. Never underestimate the ability for NFL teams to overestimate the quarterback position.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that they will, which is why Quinn Ewers will go higher than he probably should be. Now he's still got another year of football. All these guys do. This is way too early. I said that from the jump. This is premature, and it's fun to jump on board with gambling odds. But Shadur Sanders, I don't see any reason that he would be a top 3 pick based on what he's done at this point. Quinn Ewers, with the physical tools, I understand them getting to that point. Carson Beck has won a lot of games and is testing himself against SEC defenses week in and week out and has performed at a high level. So I guess I do understand it from that perspective, why he would be number one at this point, but there's a long, long way to go.
Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami. He was at Washington State last year. Remember that transfer saga where he was reportedly interested in the Buckeyes, and then
he was interested in the Buckeyes. They were not interested in Cam Ward.
Where then he decided, I'm going to go down to Miami. He's at 17-1. Drew Aller of Penn State is next up on the list at 19-1.
Good luck.
And then you have to drop all the way down to 30-1 odds to find the first and only Buckeye that would be available in this FanDuel odds, and that would be JT Tuimoloau at 30-1 odds. So that's the highest Buckeye on the board for number one overall draft pick odds. But you start to look at this current roster, and there I think are a few guys who maybe not number one overall, like you might not get the number 1 overall pick. You probably won't. But let's just play hypothetical here, and let's say Will Howard is the starting quarterback come last weekend in August when the Buckeyes kick off their first game, and he has a heck of a year, right? I mean, throws for let's just say 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. It's not 5,050 like Dwayne had in that year, but let's just say that it's a really, really good year. Goes out as a Heisman finalist, maybe wins the Heisman. Buckeyes win the national championship. I mean, with the way that the NFL views quarterbacks right now, if you put that hypothetical into a bubble with Will Howard doing that at Ohio State, now we don't think that's going to happen because the running game, we think that's going to be a little bit more intriguing this year, and they're going to rely on
he's going to be part of that.
And he is going to be part of that. But, I mean, there's a real case to be had. Like, if Will Howard or whomever goes out there and is draft eligible next year for the Buckeyes, like, they have a great chance of going on to the NFL just with the way that the NFL views quarterbacks.
Well, if that hypothetical plays out, not only will Will Howard be a first-round draft pick, he'll probably be the number 1 overall pick.
Correct.
There's also, I mean, he was getting, 4th, 5th round conversation as he was leaving Kansas State, and based on what happened in the NFL draft a couple weeks ago, he almost certainly would have been picked earlier than that. There was a pretty big gap there between Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler, we know that, but Will Howard had done enough, and people love. You look at the NFL Network, what's on right now is a replay again of Josh Allen, running down there in the red zone. People love to compare the Wyoming great to Will Howard. I don't love that myself. Mm-hmm. And I've asked Will Howard that. He said, I said, who do you compare yourself to? Who do you like to watch? And I said, don't say Josh Allen.
It's Josh. Do it. It's a loaded question.
Allen.
That's a loaded question.
I said, don't do it. But there are so many similarities in their game.
He likes to run around. I don't know.
He does, and he's big and physical, and he looks like a tight end. So there will definitely be an element of that if he starts. And the expectation is that he will. If he wins at a high level, if Ohio State gets where it wants to go, he's going to shoot up the draft board.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have to win a national title to become that. But if he does, then we're probably talking about, again, in the mix with those guys, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Shadur, Sanders, he will have a legitimate case to get right up there in the mix to be a top pick.
Yeah, and not only, the number 1 overall pick. I mean, there can only be one of those guys. But as far as like total class goes for Ohio State, this will be a much different monster next year. As we get into draft talk than what we were in this year, with everybody deciding to come back.
Well, what I think is interesting about those FanDuel odds that you threw out there, Beamer, is that I don't think that JT Tuimoloau will be the first defensive lineman taken from Ohio State. Now, there's going to be a great argument and competition and friendly rivalry between him and Jack Sawyer at this time next year, but I would argue that he wouldn't even necessarily be the second defensive player taken from Ohio State because Denzel Burke is going to be in position to be one of the first cornerbacks taken, and Davis Igbinosun will be in that conversation as well. To your point, the pre-draft buildup for Ohio State next year, pro day, combine, draft, all of it is going to be so much different and a lot more familiar to what we're used to with nonstop Buckeye talk, but also to a completely another level because we're going to be breaking down upwards of 15, 16 draftable guys.
It's a lot.
It'll be a busy weekend.
It'll be a lot. It'll be a busy weekend, and it's going to be a busy fall.
Let's not skip past that.
Don't skip past the good part.
Yeah.
Don't skip past the awesome part
of
those guys.
Can't wait.
And then, if you want to get even crazier, talking about the 2026 NFL draft, there's going to be this guy, Caleb Downs, who's like, he's going to be a once-in-a-generation, can't-miss NFL prospect.
He's pretty good.
He is pretty good.
Well, then, you want to skip ahead then and talk about Jeremiah Smith?
Hey, Julian Say and Aaron Nolan talk then. That's what we're doing. We just got 3 number 1 picks in a row with whomever it's going to be for the Buckeyes this year, next year, and then the year after.
I mean, and they're lining up at cornerback too with Jermaine Matthews. It's just crazy what's going on. Aaron Scott. These guys are already doing things that you're like, holy moly.
It's going to be fun. Everybody's looking forward to it. We're going to get Juice next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are still watching delays on I-270 northbound right near Easton because of a crash that crews are working to clear up. Also watching crews clear a crash on I-71 northbound to 670 westbound. That has some slight delays there as well. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Fan traffic is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $200 cash bonus at BMI Federal Credit Union when you open a new free checking account. Visit BMIFCU.org/free for more details.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and we're proud to serve our customers for over 40 years, where our name means a great deal. So now it's time to drop those prices so you can save big. All bulk mulchers are now $10 off a yard. I told you, it's time to save. Visit us online at ohiomulch.com.
Hey, it's Bobby. When you have a large investment like a new roof, you want to work with a company you can trust. One with 30 years of experience and hundreds of 5-star Google reviews, 0 complaints with the BBB. That's Newman Roofing. So go check them out at newmanroofing.com or give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF.
Sick of being upsold at gyms?
My guy, you're currently a base member? For $90 more, I can upgrade you to our Shred membership. For $130 more, you'll be a Swole member. And for just $300 more, you'll reach Sweat Platinum.
At Planet Fitness, you'll get energy without the upsell. Never pushy, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. It's fitness that fits your budget. Join Planet Fitness for just $1 down and $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, May 10th. See Home Club for details.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash that you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the Truehold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to Truehold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. Truehold.com.
Are you hangry for Buckeye baseball? Matt Andrews brings you every Big Ten game on our family of fan networks. 1460 AM, the Fan's HD2, and the Fan app. Your home for Ohio State athletics, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Experts claim there is nothing tougher than a diamond. But at Diamonds Direct, we beg to differ. Have you ever met a mother? Strong, radiant, timeless. This Mother's Day, give her the gift that meets her match. With diamond jewelry starting at $200. Plus Diamonds Direct's exceptional quality and unbeatable everyday price, you're sure to give her a gift that wows this generation and the next to come. Experience the thrill of jewelry shopping done right at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The buying experience at Rosati Windows is very, very important to me. We try to make it an enjoyable process. I learned business from my grandfather, and my grandfather was all about customer service. That's all I know. We're not there to high pressure you. We're not going to give you a special deal if you buy tonight. We sell a quality product at a fair price. I want you to be happy when we're done.
Call Rosati Windows today at 777-4806.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at shower and storm chances coming back for this evening, but a lot of dry weather during the daytime hours today. We'll start out cloudy and in the mid-60s and warm to the 70s by lunch. Highs will top out in the low 80s this afternoon, but those storms that come this evening could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware as we head into tonight. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Here's Here's a list of undisputed facts. Beamer is round, Shark was a swinger, and no one derails a show like Bobby Carpenter. No one. This is Morning Juice.
We here on the Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Healthy, leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Hey, we're in sports. It's a little Wednesday, buddy. We're just past Coaster Bob time on the week. What's got you fired up?
I defeated Ticketmaster on Tuesday morning.
Nice.
Always a struggle. You never know what you're going to get. But pre-sale tickets for SummerSlam at Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Nice.
Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. I popped in there about 9:55.
Yeah, get in line, get in the queue.
I guess I hadn't done it for a big enough event in a while to recognize it. I said, oh, you need to be here 10 minutes early to join the queue. Well, why didn't you say so? I don't have the code yet. Now it says that I'm behind 37,000 people.
Jeez.
Like, what? It's not even open yet. And I have to wait in the queue just to get in there and look at tickets. And like, oh, boy, 37,000. That's a lot. And I'm watching it tick down. It takes almost an hour to get in. It's like, well, we want you to be, it's telling you on the screen, we'll make sure that you have time to shop around and find your tickets. Really?
But yeah, but by the time that you get in there and pick your tickets, like these tickets are gone.
Those tickets are gone. The things are just flashing off and on, like you're playing whack-a-mole trying to get tickets. But we got in there. We were able to secure 4 on the floor.
Nice.
Next to the entrance ramp, which is like what Liberty most loves, is to be able to figure out who gives high fives and who doesn't. That's how she tells the good guys and the bad guys, and the heels and the faces.
Yep.
Is this person going to give me a high five? Is Cody Rhodes going to stop and give her another hug? Well, we're going to find out. We've got him. We're going to be 2 seats away from the ramp there.
Nice.
Well back, 33 rows from the ring, but I've got experience now from WrestleMania to know that those will still be very good seats, but a big win for the program, defeating Ticketmaster.
That's tremendous. When is that?
August 3rd. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to beat the Ohio State media schedule. We can't be going out on Saturday morning the 3rd. So the battle is half won, and now we'll have to wait a couple of months until we get the official word there from Ryan Day and Jerry Emming.
So when I went to the crew game a couple of weeks ago, when I decided at 7:30 to go down to lower.com field for an 8:15 kickoff, I was also frantically searching through Ticketmaster, and I found a Nordeck ticket for like $23. And then when it all was said and done, it was like $41 was the grand total.
Well,
like, what do you mean? Ticket, fees and taxes on top of it. I mean, it's almost double the price of the actual ticket. Why do the fees increase with the ticket price? The fee should be the fee for processing. That should not be allowed. And that was a cheap ticket. I can't imagine paying a couple $100 for a ticket and then the fee being $50, $60 on top of that.
It was more than $50 or $60. I can tell you. So Ticketmaster did return the favor and defeat me with the fees. I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, that looks pretty good for face value. That's much less than what I paid for WrestleMania. And I go to check out, and it went from it was a boost of 25% on top. So I didn't love that because I wasn't buying $25 tickets. So
right.
The final price tag was not what I was expecting.
It should be illegal. They shouldn't be able to do that.
I mean, every time they say they're going to shut them down, it gets kicked down the road.
Yeah, that's no fun at all.
Well, all my homies hate Ticketmaster.
You know what? I'm glad that you secured your tickets, though.
We did.
I'm glad that you were able to get that done.
Mission
Sharky,
accomplished.
What's got Schlegs fired up this morning?
They try to throw a little wrinkle in there, and you snuff it out, and you knock somebody's junk in the dirt. Why? Because you're blue collar and corn fed. There you go. How about that?
That's like you to Ticketmaster last night.
That's it.
Yes.
Get after it.
I was in Vegas last month, and you know how day of show you can get cheap tickets. Yeah. So we were going to this Las Vegas comedy club. They had 3 or 4 comedians appearing.
The 2 naked dudes doing body art?
No, it wasn't that.
Okay.
But it was like $79 a ticket, and they had them for $39.
Nice.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to pay $78. I got the charge on my Visa, and it was like $112 because they added $10 per ticket, and then for the order you had to pay it's ridiculous.
Entertainment tax out there too is different than like state and local tax.
Hate those ticket fees. Some more Memorial Tournament commits are coming in now that we're, less than a month away. Defending champ Victor Hovland is coming back to defend his title. Rory is going to be here. He's never won at Muirfield. Best finish was 4th in 2016. He will be coming here for the 13th time. And
before the U.S. Open this year, too. Week before. It's different
it's usually
on the schedule.
2 weeks before. It's usually the first week in June, right after Memorial Day, hence the Memorial name. But no, they backed us up this year.
So it's weird, too, because traditionally it's like the same spot in the calendar as far as the dates go.
Right.
But it's not, because Memorial Day is a week earlier. So it's kind of funky this year, the Memorial Tournament.
Yeah, but I think it's a permanent move.
It is
to the second week in June. The weather will be much nicer the second week than the first. No guaranteed, no rain.
Hey, you know what's going to happen?
Don't guarantee something that you can't actually guarantee.
Is that the week that it's traditionally played, the Thursday and Friday before the Thursday and Friday of the Memorial Tournament, it will be like 75 degrees.
Oh yeah,
it'll be sunny. It'll be a beautiful weekend. And then where it's traditionally held at, if it was like last year's tour schedule, and then this year, since they moved it a week, it's going to be pandemonium.
Of course. The Guards and Cavs, they did not have me juiced last night.
What about the Reds?
But they didn't have me juiced either, 6 straight losses. But the Stanley Cup playoffs did have me juiced last night. Not very many people are watching, but the NHL playoffs come through every year. Yeah. Now, thankfully, when games go to overtime, they don't use regular season rules of 3-on-3 overtimes for 5 minutes and then a shootout. They play them out like it should be, and should be in soccer too. Mm-hmm. I think they ought to play like 17 overtimes of soccer.
Would that make it? Would you watch?
Of course, I would watch.
Okay, just guys keeling over and dying on the field.
Eventually, one team's going to tire out and they're going to get scored upon. I don't like the gimmick of penalty kicks, and I don't like the gimmick of shootout goals.
How often have you watched penalty kicks? When was the last time you watched the
Brady Chastain scored on one in the 98 Women's World Cup. Anyway, last night we had at Madison Square Garden, the Rangers beat the Hurricanes 4-3 in double overtime. Vinny Trocheck with the game winner there. That game lasted 87 minutes. Oof. And then the Avalanche went to Dallas and beat the Stars 4-3 in overtime in game one. Mike Wood with the game winner there. So, I know the Blue Jackets aren't in the playoffs for the 4th straight year, but if you want to be entertained with some nice postseason hockey, watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. They always come through for you, Beam.
I wish that was us. I wish it was. A couple of years ago, a few years ago. It was. What has me juiced on the opposite end of the spectrum of the Blue Jackets or the Columbus Crew? They have me juiced. So CONCACAF releases their index rankings and the best rankings of, the teams who are all in CONCACAF. And it goes like 1 to, God, I don't even know how many club teams there totally are in CONCACAF. Let's see. Internacional FC or DFL in CONCACAF.
You hate
rankings.
to see it.
They're 181st. So there are 181 teams in the region of Central and North America. The Columbus Crew in the latest rankings are number 1 out of 181. So they are officially now the best team in North and Central America. Pachuca, who they're playing in the final, is number 2.
Come and get some.
How about that?
All right.
Super.
We're number 1.
That's right. We're number 1. So that'll be awesome. Super excited about that. Juice, we talked to Chris Doran in the 6 o'clock hour. You can go find that on wherever you get your podcast from. If you missed Chris a little bit earlier on, the podcast will be available around 9:05 a little bit later on. Speaking of what's got me juiced too, I saw this yesterday. Joe Burrow looking like a rock star out there, throwing it back to the 90s. He's looking awesome, like he's the lead singer of a boy band. So Bengals fans got a sight for sore eyes. We'll do that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are watching crews clear up a crash on I-270 northbound right near Easton. Lane slightly blocked off over there as crews work to clear this up. Also, watching crews clear a crash on the ramp from 71 northbound to 670 westbound. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a Big Bite hot dog and Big Gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Mark. The Shark. Game 1 of the Cavaliers' second-round playoff series in Boston went to the Celtics, and it wasn't close. Boston hit 18 three-pointers and crushed Cleveland 120-95. The Cavs hit just 11 of 42 three-pointers. Jaylen Brown led Boston with 32 points. Donovan Mitchell scored 33 for Cleveland. Game 2 is tomorrow night, also in Boston. In baseball, the Guardians held a 7-5 lead over Detroit after 2 innings. It was all Tigers after that as they won in Cleveland 11-7. Andy Ibanez went 4 for 4 with 2 homers, 4 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. The Reds' losing streak has reached 6 after they fell at home to Arizona 6-2. Zach Gallen threw 6 shutout innings, and Corbin Carroll had a homer and 5 RBIs for the Diamondbacks. The Sports Center is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $200 cash bonus at BMI when you open a new free checking account. Visit bmifcu.org/free.
What's the going rate for a good babysitter? Also, Shark needs a raise. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wednesday edition of the program, hour number 3 for us. Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, Mark the Shark, Bob out in Philadelphia. He will be back with us on Friday. Bill Landis of the podcast, Kings of the North, dotting the I's. He's going to join the program coming up here around 8:35 this morning. We'll talk some Buckeyes, talk some cheesesteaks with Bill, like I said, coming up here around 8:35 in a bit of time.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Avalanche delayed until Thursday, until further notice. They got Cavalanched last night. Celtics 120, Cavs 95. It's 1-0. Sharky, you had predicted it, though. You said game number 1 in Boston, that's going to be tough. Celtics with a little bit of rest. Cavs just coming off of game 7 on Sunday. Quick turnaround. No Jared Allen. Don't worry. Cavs are going to lose this game. You took the points last night. You laid them with the Boston Celtics, and they turned around. They hammered you. You had a nice little comeback, though, in the opening stanza. I mean, came from behind, was it 12-2?
Yeah,
and then
down
you're like,
12-2.
okay, we weathered the storm here a little bit. We got ourselves back into the game. You took the lead, and then from there on out, the Celtics just kind of went ballistic.
Took a 23-21 lead, and as it turned out, it was the only lead of the game for the Cavs. I will say this. I made a little lunch money on FanDuel yesterday. Your biggest fear when you're giving up 11.5 points is, the Cavs are not only going to lose the game, they're going to cover.
They're going to lose by 10.
Yeah. So on a late, fluky half-court three-pointer or something. But I lost, but then I won.
How are you feeling heading into game number 2 on
good.
Thursday?
No,
Jared Allen, you said, is having some big-time issues right now.
Yeah, that was a guy that didn't miss a game. He missed the first 5 games of the season. Then he played 77 straight. Yeah. And then he played the first 4 games in the playoffs. So that rib injury is really bothering him, or he would be playing. And it's, yeah. I thought it would hurt them more in the Orlando series because Orlando starts 4 guys who are 6'11" or taller. Horford doesn't bother me much anymore.
Kelly Olynyk's out.
Well, Kelly Olynyk doesn't play for the Celtics anymore, but Porzingis does.
That's right.
And anyway,
he is out. That was an homage to Bob, what he said yesterday.
Anyway, they got to get Jared Allen back, and they got to score points. I mean, they just wide open threes last night. They couldn't hit them. 11 for 42 from 3-point land.
Ugh.
So something's got to turn around, and I doubt if it will, Beam.
All right.
But that'll make it more exciting if they do bounce back and win a game in this
That's
series.
correct. So game number 2 coming up on Thursday. So you got a couple of days to think about that, and they're back at it coming up here tomorrow. Joe Burrow back in practice for the Cincinnati Bengals as they get OTAs underway down there in the lovely city of Cincinnati. And I don't know, man, he's looking sweet out there. I think that was my biggest takeaway from his media availability. He's looking tan. He's looking good. He's got the shooter sleeves. He's got the compression sleeve on the throwing arm right now. His hair is looking very coif.
That was the first thing I noticed.
I mean, he's got he looks like a lead singer of a 90s boy band, honestly. Like he's got bangs that are coming down to his forehead. I don't know exactly what the look he's trying to pull off, but I am jealous.
I think he's thrown it back to Justin Timberlake in 2001.
I agree.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't just show up to the press conference wearing an all denim outfit. And that's seems like what he's going for. It's great to see him back out there. I mean, if the Bengals are going to be a factor in the AFC championship race, you have to have Joe Burrow healthy and on the field. And I think, fair or not, which I think is mostly unfair, he's in this situation where you could tag him as injury prone and be nervous if you're a Bengals fan or a Joe Burrow fan, because you had even dating back to the broken thumb and sticking that in Chris Worley's pad in a practice and derailing his Ohio State career, and then the knee injury and then the wrist. And those are all separate things and they're fluky things, but sometimes that's what happens to people. I want to see Joe Burrow on the field. I want to see the Bengals competing. It's much more fun for everyone involved.
Yeah.
If the franchise player is out there and letting the lettuce fly.
Here was an update from Joe Burrow yesterday, his media availability after a little OTA for him, just updating the entire process with what's going on with the wrist.
Felt good the last 2 days, so I don't never really know how it's going to feel until I wake up the next morning, but I was encouraged by the last couple of days for sure. I think I'm fully cleared for everything other than contact right now. That'll come in the next month probably, but it's no rush. Season doesn't start for a while, so we're in a good spot.
Ain't no way anybody's touching Joe Burrow until that first game of the regular season. There's just no chance of that even being close to what's going to happen.
The wrist also overshadowed that he had, the ankle and the lower leg early in the year coming out of training camp. You just gotta, I don't know, keep him in bubble wrap somehow, keep him protected. He's got to be on the field for Sundays.
Hyperextension of the knee and then the ankle last year, right in training camp.
Yeah,
right,
early on,
couple
early
days into it.
I think that was. Maybe it was right before or OTAs. I can't even remember because I thought I was coming back from Big Ten Media Days and oh, Joe Burrow's hurt again. What? Nothing's going on yet. What's happening? How did this occur?
Yeah, the picture of him being carted off too.
Yeah.
It's hopefully it's not a worst case situation. But I mean, to your point, he has missed a lot of time. First year was the ACL, and then a couple of years ago was the appendix. That was kind of weird in the off season. obviously, like his time here at Ohio State, he got in a quarterback competition with Dwayne, has the thumb injury. He obviously transfers to LSU. That's history down there. Won a national championship, won a Heisman, and one of the best college football seasons you'll see as a quarterback. And then you go into last year feeling okay about, all right, well, the offensive line, what are they going to do to protect him? And then boom, like later on in the season, man, that wrist injury. And with a quarterback too, like with your throwing wrist, like that's such a sketchy situation. Oof. And I thought it was interesting yesterday too, because he had talked about, what's going on and how to compartmentalize it. And no one's gone through the injury like he has. And here was him kind of explaining that whole situation, why it's been unique.
There's always going to be some pain when you're coming back from injury throughout the rehab process. That's something that you just have to battle through if you want to come back from injuries like these. This isn't a minor injury by any means. So, I've been through it with my knee. I know the pain that is involved in processes like these. I've been through it before, and we're kind of towards the end of this now, but we're going to continue to improve throughout the offseason. The wrist has good days and bad days, just like the knee did. We're still pretty early. We still got a ways till the season, so we're going to make sure that we give it the breaks that it needs. We're going to be smart about it, but on the days that I'm feeling good, I'm going to go. And
it was also a rare injury for a quarterback to have, too. Like, he hasn't talked to anybody who has had the same injury.
Was kind of flying blind throughout the beginning of that rehab process because, I haven't found any quarterbacks that have had this before. The guys that I have talked to have been, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers that didn't have to have that wrist mobility and the little intricacies of the wrist movement like I do. But Nick and Matt have really done a good job of making sure that I get that motion back, and our rehab has been lights out. So I've been excited about that.
It has to be unique, not like kind of flying blind, not being able to talk to anybody who's had it that plays the same position as you.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any easier. It's another challenge for Joe Burrow, and the one thing that everyone who's been around him, covered him, got to know him, he will not be daunted by that. The fact that he's the first one to do it, I think probably means more to him, that he gets to trailblaze, and prove people wrong and doubt and set the tone for it. That's the way that he's wired. And watching him attack this rehab and get back on the field with the Bengals, I think everyone should be excited about that. And he's trying to put together a little personal revenge tour, I'm sure. That's the way he's gone through this process in the past.
So we're firmly into list season now, and I know that you love list season.
Yeah.
I love list season. And I saw Murph tweet this out yesterday, and I thought this was a pretty good point that he made. He said Mike Florio and Chris Sims ranked the NFL's top rivalries heading into 2024. And number one for Mike Florio was the Bills and the Chiefs. Number one for Chris Sims was the Chiefs and the Bengals. Number two for Florio was the Packers and the Lions. Number two for Sims was the Chiefs and the Niners. Three was the Chiefs and Chargers for Florio. Three was the Eagles and the Niners for Chris Sims. And I thought Murph had a great tweet. He's like, only one of these is an actual rivalry. The other two are just two likely good teams playing against each other. It's like, yeah, it's been good. Like, I would say that the rivalry between the Bengals and Chiefs and the Bengals and Bills over the last couple of years has been good. Traditionally, not a rivalry. But when you're starting to look and you're starting to see, like, okay, the last few years, like, who's been coming out of the AFC, who's going to be in the championship game, it has predominantly been those three teams and then the rest of the teams across the NFC kind of battling for that. But I don't necessarily know that I would agree that the Chiefs and the Bengals is a great traditional rivalry.
No, and it's also not in the same state of the rivalry right now as it was from the previous couple of years. So projecting that forward, I think, is a little bit odd. And I want to make a plea to everyone as a sporting nation. Can we come together and ignore Chris Sims? Is there anything that we can do collectively to reach across the aisle and say, why are we listening to Chris Sims talk about anything? Please get him off of your social media channels, get him off of television. Let's just agree that no one should listen to Chris Sims talk about anything.
You don't agree with that the 49ers and Chiefs are a great rivalry?
No.
What about the Eagles and 49ers?
Unfamiliar with their game. I think the Eagles fans would dispute that, and they would say,
no.
We'll stick with the NFC East, please and thank you.
Right. Packers and Lions, to Murph's point, yeah, that's a rivalry. That's traditional rivalry. They've been playing for what, 70, 80 years, 90 years. Who knows how long that thing's been going on. The rest, no. It's fine.
Okay, say which games you're most interested to see if that's what you're breaking down, which is what that list is. Those are not rivalries. Murph scores. I'm glad he brought that to our attention. But then now I have to go tell Murph. Tune out Chris Sims.
And now, coming up on tomorrow's show at this time, we're going to break down the list of the dumbest lists that are out there.
Oh, boy.
Just like us next Thursday talking about the breakdown of all 272 games across the NFL.
I can't
We
wait.
got a lot of great content coming up for you over the next couple of weeks. The Blue Jackets curse and the draft lottery continues. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Tuesday. Right now, we're still watching crews clear up a crash on I-270 northbound just beyond Easton Way that has some lane closures in place. Traffic a little bit slow moving as you approach Easton, again on I-270 northbound. The rest of your Central Ohio roadways are looking clear. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Glow Fiber. Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio. With prepackaged and customized fully fiber optic business internet solutions, call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th, and Kroger has great gift ideas like cards, flowers, desserts, and more. We make it easy to keep Mother's Day in full bloom.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
The Fan is your home for the dumbest Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take two.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A quiet start across central Ohio, but storm chances will be back by the evening. We're going to start this morning with cloudy skies that'll start to clear by the lunch hour. We'll be in the low 80s for this afternoon with temperatures that fall as we head toward tomorrow. Again, those storms, though, that come between our warm weather today and cooler weather tomorrow could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
In high school, Bobby was a district swimming finalist. Also, Beamer still wears floaties. This is Morning Juice.
True story.
I don't believe that one.
Pretty good swimmer. I'm good at floating. Very buoyant. I'm excited too. We're going up to the lake, going up to Michigan. Traditionally, what we do like the week after the Memorial Tournament. So our vacation got pushed back a week.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Jack.
Come on. Not even come on, Jack. Come on, Jay Monahan. What are we doing out here?
It's true.
Come on.
Well,
why are we moving the Memorial Tournament off of its date?
Copy and paste. Come on, Jay Monahan.
Yeah, it's worked so well over the course of the last 50 years, or however long it's been going on. Like, why do they need to change it? Anyways, so last night we're obviously getting ready to not head down to the basement. I wasn't predicting that we were getting ready to go down to the basement, but we put William to bed at like 7:30, and I showed you the video. 7:15, 7:30. It's traditionally his bedtime. We get done with dinner. He's in a good mood. He's become really scared of. He's become really scared of the shower head.
Oh yeah,
that's become a new phobia for him.
It's terrifying.
Well, little behind the scenes look as to why the shower head gets turned on is because a couple of weeks ago he made it tradition to poop in the bathtub. Like that. He just decided that I'm going to get into the corner and I'm just going to do this right here. So in defense of that and in cleanup of that, we turn the shower head on and just
get out of the corner,
clean him up. Yeah, and he goes to the farthest corner too, and we don't have like a curtain that goes across. It's big, like glass sliding doors. So and the toilet is right next to the door. So you can't really get to that far corner as it's very tough. So you either have to reach like all the way into the bathtub to get him, or you have to like go into the tub with him. So
into the war zone.
He knows his strategy is pretty good. Like his defense mechanism is pretty good. And so what our defense mechanism had come was as soon as we got done with the bath and he started heading towards that far corner, we would turn on the shower head. And so the other day he just, I don't know if it was cold because the water had been up there and it took, a couple of seconds to warm up and it just like boom, blasted him in the face. So for a couple of weeks he has had like a big phobia of going into the bath because of the shower head. And so on the one hand, he stopped going number 2. He stopped taking a deuce in the tub, which is good. Like, that's great. It was a big development.
Mission accomplished.
Big development in our life. So that was good. So we get him out of the bath last night. He's good. He's running around like a crazy person. And he finally, he's starting to get tired a little bit. And we can tell, too, because his steps aren't as good. And he starts falling down a lot. Like, all right, you're getting tired. He's having a hard time, holding his head up. Like, all right, put you to bed. 15 minutes after that, Ultimate Warrior on the ropes, just shaking that thing. I want out. And so we got him out of his crib. We decided to have a little more playtime upstairs. He's in his sweet Spider-Man outfit.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome. He's playing with DJ Crab, we like to call him. I showed you the video of
DJ Crab gets after it.
Yeah. Bump, 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 bump. It's in my head now. Theo hates it. And
yeah, I wonder where those zoomies come from when you've got that techno blasting out of DJ Crab.
That wasn't available to him in his crib, but we decided that
it was in his head. It had been played at some point. How are you getting it out? You're thinking about it right now.
That's true. It's just always in there. And so we finally get him to bed, and then the sirens start going off last night. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to rip you out of bed. Luckily, he was able to go back to sleep last night at like 11:15 when we finally got him back down. Did she go back to bed immediately, or what happened with her?
Not immediately, no. After dealing with the zombie and like somehow sleep running after I tried to get her out of bed, she'd put on Netflix when we were down there in the basement, and like she's locked in on that. And we weren't sure how long it was going to last, although they'd projected like, oh, well, they extended it to 11:15. I'm like, well, it looks like it's in Westerville. We're probably fine. Took her back up there, but the sirens were going again at 11:05, 11:10. She's like, Daddy, I can hear it. And like, it was still raining pretty hard. So Allie just said, well, you can come lay down in our room. And she made herself a bed on the floor next to us. And it took maybe 20 minutes after that. So that was pretty good. I heard her snoring, waited till the girls were asleep and ready to go. I was, by that point, I was wired.
Yeah.
So I had wanted to go to bed.
Too. I mean, I probably fell asleep like 11:45, midnight-ish, probably.
And then I'd been watching an hour of, storm doom coverage, and it's like, oh, all right.
Well, I feel like, too, I mean, sensory overload. Like, there's beeps and bloops and reds and purples and greens. And I'm like, what am I even looking at here?
And when I know I'm doing the show and coming in to hang out with you, I'm so excited anyway that like the adrenaline is flowing. I mean, I don't know how you do it with this 5 days a week all year round, because I'm paranoid that I'm gonna sleep through it and miss it. And the one thing I try to pride myself on professionally is never being late for anything that I'm committed to do. And I want to be
That's
early.
a good goal to have.
Like, I show up to the Woody, if it is Tuesday and Ryan Day is talking at noon, I want to be there at 11.
Yeah.
And so I can't sleep when I'm thinking about, how am I going to get up at this wake-up call? Like, I got 3 alarm sets, like 5, 5:05, 5:10.
And you're triple checking them. I triple check them before I go to bed every night.
And I wake up, like, it's got to be 5 o'clock. It's 2:33 in the morning.
Still got 2.5 hours to go.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, I couldn't get to sleep, and then I didn't stay asleep.
Nice.
But now I'm ready. I mean, I'm juiced up.
How are you going to feel at 10 o'clock?
I don't know about it. I probably won't be as juiced then.
Probably. Are you sticking around for our staff meeting later on? That'll keep you juiced.
I wasn't invited, and I don't want to stay.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd blow right through that stop sign. So, my mom, I call my mom every day, and she's just getting back from Florida. She's been hanging out with my grandma for, quite some time for the last couple of months. So my mom hasn't seen William since his birthday in March. Like, she hung out with him for a couple of days after that, and then she went down to Florida to be with my grandma. And she called me the other day. She's like, hey, I know you're playing golf next week. Like, can I just take William home with me? Like that. It's next Thursday that I'm playing golf. And I'm like, no.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. I was invited. I was not the inviter. All right. Yeah. I was invited.
Of course.
And, so I'm like, no, I don't think so. Like, I like him a lot. I don't want to keep him at home. I'd rather just have that. Seems a little bit easier now. And I'm like, by the way, the job has changed since you last saw him. I'm like, when you last saw him, he was fine hanging out in your lap. You could hold him, and he was okay. And he was crawling albeit a rapid pace. I mean, he was able to move pretty good. I'm like, now in 2 months, it has changed dramatically.
Yeah.
We're in a different situation than we were a couple of months ago. So they're coming up today, and I'm excited to see them because I got a few things I need to do. I'm doing after work. We got that meeting. I got an interview that I need to do. Just a couple of things. I'm excited to see, like, when I walk in the door at 11, for them being there just for an hour, what that's like.
She's going to be fully rattled.
Like, man, I didn't realize he was getting into the pots and pans.
He's taking it up a notch.
Yeah.
And he's pooping in the corner.
Yeah, so that was a disaster, too. But I'm glad we're through that phase. That was messy. And then I just pretended like I didn't hear it, and I stayed in the other room or went outside to let Meredith deal with it like a true champion. Jackets fourth in the NHL draft lottery. No upward mobility, no downward mobility. Things are the same. I am fully convinced, though, that they are cursed. Fully convinced.
That's what I think last night was a sign that the curse is lifting. They didn't get penalized by the NHL. They got to stay right where they were projected. That's a huge win for the Jackets. We shouldn't have to celebrate that nothing bad went wrong. But you know what? That's the situation we're in. Let's celebrate that nothing bad went wrong.
Let's celebrate the mediocreness.
I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I'm trained to expect the worst case scenario, and it didn't arrive. That feels refreshing.
Did you celebrate it?
No, I mean, yeah, no. It's a great feeling, I think, to just like have expectations met, because that's worth a handshake, not a pat on the back. Congratulations, we did it. Now we'll go on to the next thing. We don't have to fix what went wrong.
I went into last night fully anticipating watching the NHL draft lottery, and then it was dinner time because it started at 6:30. I'm like, nope, this isn't going to happen. Looked down at my phone, saw that we were fourth. I'm like, okay, not bad. Not bad, because I did the Predictolator machine on Tankathon yesterday, and it had a sixth. It dropped us to sixth like every time.
See?
So I was okay with it.
So you can feel good about it.
I was okay with it.
The curse is lifted.
Maybe it is lifting. I don't know if it's lifted, but it's maybe showing
We've
signs
removed
of letting up.
one piece.
If they don't hire a GM and fire him after 3 weeks of being here, then maybe it'll be lifted.
Okay.
But until we get to that point, I would say lifting instead of lifted. Bill Landis, the podcast, Dotting the I's. He's going to join us. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Right now, we are still watching slowdowns on I-270 northbound as you approach Easton. There is a crash that crews are working to clear up just beyond Easton Way. Again, in those northbound lanes of I-270. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Winds are changing.
Everything's gone.
Hit after hit.
2 weather alert days back to back.
All new tomorrow. The summer's tornado threat may be higher than you know. Doppler 10 weather takes you into the storm.
People just need to be prepared.
To know why Ohio has seen record tornado numbers and could see even more.
It happens when you're least expecting it.
Be prepared, take shelter, and be aware of the rising threat. Tomorrow at 6 on 10 TV.
Jeopardy is on a hot streak with runaway games, high scores, and can't-miss moments.
I've always had nightmares about doing this, Ken. True Daily Double, please.
Oh, that's the spirit.
As this game heats up,
what is the secret of being a world-class Jeopardy player?
Everyone's asking,
could we be witnessing a new super champ in the making?
Find out.
All right, we got a tight game.
On Jeopardy.
Weeknights at 7 on 10 TV.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here for my friends at RCD RV. And when you want to get away, there is no better solution than hitting the open roads in an RV. Brings me back to my youth out west, under the stars, fresh mountain air. That could all be yours, and your journey starts at RCD RV. RCD has RVs to meet every budget with new campers as low as $13,995, and Ohio's best selection of pre-owned travel trailers, fifth-wheelers, motorhomes. 3 locations to serve you in Central Ohio or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Great coaching can make all the difference, especially when it comes to your money. At Right Pac Credit Union, our financial coaches are on your team. We'll help you create a winning game plan that's customized for your unique needs, so you can make the most of your hard-earned money and live the life you want to live. Best of all, Right Pac Credit Union serves all of Central Ohio, so getting in the game is easy. Let's win together. Stop by one of our Central Ohio member centers to get started today. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and I'm going to piggyback on what Chops has already challenged you all with, dropping 40 pounds by the 4th of July. Sounds crazy, right? Well, I dropped 50 in that same amount of time with Awaken 180. 40 by the 4th is a cakewalk? Yeah, put a real goal on your calendar. It changes the game. Imagine this. Your scale is flashing 230 pounds today. What if I told you it could read 190 by the 4th of July? Maybe it's sitting at 300 right now. Think about how sweet 260 would look. Easier on the eyes, and hey, for me, it's been easier on the golf course too. It's totally doable. Look at the stats. Me, 50 pounds. Chops, 95 pounds. Scotty Vegas is already down 40. We're talking real results, attainable goals, in a process so simple it feels like cheating. Except it's totally legit. Awaken 180 is the cheat code we all need. Drop your 40 by the 4th and celebrate with a cracked beer and burger in hand like me. It starts with one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Dial 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
The Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
The hardest part of your workday is over. You've managed to get out of your fart sack.
Attention campers, lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
This is Morning Juice.
Thank you very much for the wise words, Uncle Tony. We're going to be Austin Ward of Mark the Shark here. Little Wednesday edition of the program. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check it with our good friend of Kings of the North, the podcast, Dotting the I's, Austin Ward's comrade. He is Bill Landis. Bill, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. How was your night last night? I know you got a little one. Did you guys go to the basement? What was happening?
Yeah, we don't really have a basement, so it's more of like a glorified crawl space. So we were sitting in the bathtub on our first floor for a while last night. The boys slept through most of it, though, so it was actually pretty okay in my part of town. Just kind of some gnarly lightning and a little bit of wind, but nothing too crazy.
Bill, when I showed up into the Juice Studios this morning to replace Bobby Carpenter, who was in Philadelphia, Brandon Beam dropped a Pats and Geno's reference.
Hey, to be fair, I've never been to Philadelphia. I would like to go and be guided by you, Bill.
I'd love to show you around, but we definitely would not go to Pats or Geno's.
I told him, I said, this will be, if we talk about it, it'll take up the whole segment and probably the rest of the show. So just give your officially endorsed steak so that everyone can be aware.
I will say this about Pats and Geno's. Like, it's probably worth going just to, like, see them, like, side by side and, like, the vibes of the places. And, like, they're, like, kind of lit up and, like, it looks cool. But their cheesesteaks are horrendous. They don't taste good. So I would not advise going there. John's Roast Pork is where I would send you. And Jim's is pretty good. And they just reopened their location. I think it's on 4th and South. So those are two places. Tony Luke's used to be good, but I think Tony Luke's might be closed or different management now. So there's a lot of places. Angelo's is really good. Just don't go to Pats and Geno's, man. Do yourself a favor and get a good sandwich.
All right, perfect. I mean, we're going for the taste. Are you a traditional steak guy, or do you like the pork and broccoli rabe, like that combo?
I like the pork and broccoli rabe. I prefer the traditional cheesesteak, but that's good knowledge on you to know about the pork and broccoli rabe. That's an underrated sandwich.
I learn. I like to learn, okay? And I learn by cuisine whenever we go somewhere. I learn by eating and I learn by drinking. And I've never been to Philadelphia, but I've watched enough travel shows to know exactly what the Philadelphians, what they like. So I'm glad to know that we got that out of the way. Pat and Geno's, I will just go to look at. I will not order a steak when we go there. But it's all good. Bob's over there. Bob doesn't eat carbs anyways, so I'm sure that this argument is even. Do you have a best salad recommendation for him over there?
We eat with him at Roosters every Monday. We know that that's not what he's sticking to.
Yeah, that guy ordered 15 pounds of boneless wings the other day.
You just put him down. What's going on with the Buckeyes right now, Bill? I know they're kind of in discretionary period. We got some construction going on over here at the Woody, but what are you looking at here over the next couple of weeks for them kind of get done?
Yeah, I mean they got the most important stuff done by keeping the roster together over the last few weeks, which was great to see. I think the chaos that a lot of people were projecting for the transfer portal, not only at Ohio State but across college football, wasn't quite what I expected anyway. It wasn't quite what it was made out to be, but regardless, Ohio State navigated it well. So I don't know. I think this is the time of year where a lot of guys are back home, kind of doing their own thing and recharging before the summer, so I don't think there's a whole lot of football going on. But when they get back, right, they gotta. I think the coaching staff probably at the moment probably needs to get together and kind of use their brain power to kind of figure out how they're going to attack a couple of the lingering position questions. And obviously the biggest one there I think is probably on the offensive line. I still don't know. I don't have much clarity myself on how they came out of spring ball in terms of a pecking order or who they believe that fifth guy is. I think it's pretty clear that they know 4 of the 5 if you throw Seth McLaughlin in there. at center with Josh Fryer, Donovan Jackson, and Josh Simmons. But if you told me it could be one of like 4 or 5 guys, maybe one of 3 or 4 guys for the last spot, like I'd believe you. And I don't really know where the coaching staff landed on that coming out of spring. So that feels to me like the most urgent thing. And it's not an easy thing, I guess, to figure out in the summer where you're not actually playing football. But I think they have to kind of get their minds together and figure out once they get back on the field, like who are the guys that they're going to like whittle that down to and really give an opportunity to win that right guard job.
And it seems defensively, Bill, like, I mean, you know who the defensive line is loaded. The linebackers, they may still have some, uncertainty about how they're going to line up with Cody Simon and CJ Hicks and Sonny Styles, but you know that the talent is there. And you look at maybe the numbers, Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom are going to solidify that spot at safety, but the scholarship numbers, you look at the winter portal and the spring portal, that's the position that got hit the hardest. So you wonder, that may be the only lingering thing for May is could Ohio State do something in the portal there at safety? Yeah,
certainly, but I just don't know. Like, I know they're hosting the kid from Michigan State, Jaden Mangum, and there's the kid from Sacramento State who is a pretty good player at the D2 level. I know they've at least shown some interest in it, and I think even offered. But what's the sales pitch there? I just don't know. It's like come back up, Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs, and if something happens, you might play. I have a hard time seeing them landing anyone of significance at that position. I think when they do, if and when they add somebody, it could be more of a depth play. I would just be very surprised if a starting safety elected to come to Ohio State when I don't see a lot of snaps available. Even if you could sell them on like, well, Lathan Ransom's only got 1 year left, and then you can be a starter next year. It's like, well, Malik Hartford's still around. Like, he's going to want to start too. So we'll see. I'm kind of curious about that. They probably do need, just for practice purposes, another body or 2. They kind of have, I think it's 6 guys for those 2 deep safety positions. And they probably like to have closer to 8 or 9, I would think. That the match changes a little bit with like Jordan Hancock and those guys, nickel more being cornerbacks, but still, like the numbers, that's the one position where the numbers are a little wonky. Not like in a way that has me concerned, but just like in an ideal world, you'd have more there. So I do think they'll try to add. I don't know if it'll be a big splash.
He is Bill Landis with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. How do you see this running attack working this year, Bill? And ultimately, an ideal world for Ohio State, you obviously bring in Will Howard as transfer quarterback. If he's going to be the starter, we know he likes to mix it up with the run a little bit. Devin Brown is capable of that as well. We saw him, on the goal line package last year before he got hurt. He was running the football around the place. And then you bring in Quinshon Judkins as well, who obviously adds a marvelous 1-2 punch with Travion Henderson. But ideally, like to you, what's the split going to be between the aerial attack and the on-ground attack for the Buckeyes this year?
I think they'll run it more than they have. I don't know. I want to say like in 2019, they were pretty close to 50-50 run and pass. And they've certainly been skewed more toward the pass since then. I think you probably see more of a return to that balance. Maybe you still throw it a little more because the receivers here are still excellent and are going to continue to be. But I think it's close to 50-50. And then like within that, I think it's probably balanced between Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins too. But the one thing I was slightly worried about as Ohio State tried to navigate the portal stuff was how that quarterback room would come out in the end of it. And obviously they kept all 5 guys, but there was so much discussion about wanting to run the quarterback more this year. And I was excited about that. And I am excited about that, but I was a little worried that if that room got thinned out at all, if they might kind of deviate the course and not want to run Will Howard a whole lot because maybe your backup quarterback's a true freshman. But with Devin Brown still here and Lincoln Keenholm still here, I think it's not, you're not sacrificing guys, but I think you feel a little more comfortable running your quarterback and accepting some of the consequences or the risks that might come with that. So I do think Will Howard will be a part of it. I don't think he'll run quite as much as he ran at Kansas State. I think it was something like almost like 5 design carries a game he had there. But I do think like situationally you're going to see the quarterback much more heavily involved running the ball than he has been the last couple of years at Ohio State. And I think I've said this on here before. If not, I'll say it now. Like I am on record saying that I think Ohio State's going to lead the power conference teams in rushing this year. So I think they're going to run the ball a lot and run it well.
The man is not afraid of a bold prediction. And I've been following your work on the podcast daily, I think that it's called, Bill. And you've had some interesting episodes recently where it's a spring position review with you and your co-host, whoever he is. He's terrible. But What's been your favorite spring position breakdown to do over the last couple of weeks?
My favorite was the cornerbacks one that we did this morning because it was the easiest. We just turned on the mics and said they're good, and then we turned them off and we went about our day.
Oh yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah, so that was a nice one. I love me some offensive line talks. That was a good one too. I highly suggest people go check out this podcast. My co-host, he's pretty good. He's got something to him. I think he's got a future in the biz.
Berm is good.
I was going to say, what's his name? What's he doing this morning? Maybe we'll get him on the show.
It was great because on the episode that Bill's talking about this morning, which we recorded at 5 a.m. just to drop it,
of course,
we spent more time talking about whoever Akron's quarterback is, which we did not know, than we did like Calvin Simpson Hunt. It was like, they're just so good at corner. There's not a lot to actually talk about.
That's a great problem to have if you're Ohio State. They can also focus on who Akron's quarterback is and not have to worry about their cornerback.
Game install the week of May 6th happening for Akron. That's going to happen in the last weekend of August. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for hopping on with us here this morning. Thanks for the advice, too. Stay clear of Pat and Geno's, and we'll check it again soon, all right?
Sounds good. See you guys.
There he goes. Bill Landis with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, whoever his co-host is. I will have to get him on the program. Maybe he'll do something.
Guy stinks.
We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now we're watching two crashes. The first one on 315 southbound in the Upper Arlington area. Expect delays right near Henderson Road as the right lane is slightly blocked off because of a crash, again on 315 southbound. Also expect delays out in the Dublin area on 33. The left lane blocked on 33 westbound just beyond Avery Murfield Drive because of a crash. Crews are clearing. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steckerwald with your fan traffic.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct has everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and when I was looking to get a new roof on my home, I wanted a company with staying power, a company that had been in business for more than 30 years, built on the principles of honesty, integrity, and transparency. Well, there was nowhere else to go than Newman Roofing. 32 years later, and hundreds of five-star reviews from customers that have been blown away with the service that they've received. Some of the customers now, well, they've been around so long, they're getting their second Newman roof, and that speaks to the quality and the way Tim and his team do things. During a time where service is lacking in the service industry, companies like Newman Roofing are leading the way, providing white glove experience to all of their customers, just like they did to me and my family. So when it comes time to get your roof replaced, you're going to want to go with a company you can trust, and that's Newman Roofing. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or go visit them online at newmanroofing.com. That's newmanroofing.com.
The Fan is your home for NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from one Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Tracy, over to you for weather.
The sun must be shining, Dave, because the 7 for 7 sale is back at Meijer. Mix or match hundreds of items like extra large avocados and mangoes, Kraft macaroni and cheese, and Glass O vitamin water. Pick any 7 for just $7. There's a strong chance of saving with the same quality Meijer deals in-store or online. Back to you, Dave.
Sounds great, Tracy.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at shower and storm chances coming back for this evening, but a lot of dry weather during the daytime hours today. We'll start out cloudy and in the mid-60s and warm to the 70s by lunch. Highs will top out in the low 80s this afternoon, but those storms that come this evening could be strong, so make sure you're staying weather aware as we head into tonight. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wrapping things up here. Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, Mark the Shark. Harp will be back with us on Friday. And we here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Uncle Bo and the boys going to be up after we're done, talking all kinds of good stuff. Well, I mean, not really in the scope of things, but they're going to have good content.
There's going to be stuff.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff. Talking about a Cavs loss in game number 1, which, to be fair, Shark predicted. He was all over that one.
Cashed in on it.
He said he guarantees a game 2 victory in Boston tomorrow night. Even without Jared Allen. That's the mark of the Shark. Guarantee. Take it to the bank.
I think you'd have to replay the podcast to see if that's actually what he guaranteed, because that doesn't sound familiar.
He said Cavs in 5, and that's still alive.
And I think he was walking that one back.
Yeah, I think he probably is. I think he reverted today to maybe Celtics in 5. So they'll talk about that game.
He's trying to ignore you. He doesn't even want to engage in this Cavs baiting.
That is a normal segment for us. It's a normal show. He's just over there doing his thing, just ignoring what we have to say over here. Jackets landed the 4th pick in the draft. No surprise with that one. They'll do some Joe Burrow talk as well. We did that a little bit earlier on as well. We got to hear from Joe Burrow. Mike Petraglia is going to join the program for him coming up at 10:33. They'll do Hey Guys, of course, at 11 o'clock. They'll do Brian Kelly, and I saw this yesterday, and we'll get into more of this tomorrow, Austin. He had some interesting comments about name, image, and likeness and what it means and how they're not in the business at LSU of doing that. Like,
yeah,
okay,
sure. Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily believe you. I get what he's saying. And again, we'll play that for you tomorrow and we can have some fun around that topic and that discussion. But it goes back to like the whole, and I think Ohio State does this too, but they understand and know the landscape of college football and where it's at until you kind of get a stranglehold on it, until you figure things out moving forward and what this is going to look like down the road in 2 or 3 years when the players get to one side of the bargaining table and the leagues and the conferences and college sports get on the other side, what that is actually going to look like. But it's just it was an interesting comment from Brian Kelly. Let me say that.
It's amusing to hear that come from SEC schools as well. And we're not going to buy players. Sure you're not. You've always been opposed to it. Yeah. There's never been any documented cases of that happening.
No. They've been opposed to the legality of it.
Oh, that's right.
They've been opposed to it happening legally.
Fully embrace under the table black market payment of players. We are not going to do it according to the new rules.
No. We're
No
just gonna-
chance.
We're just going to stop doing it.
You're out on that.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're going to move to Division III if this is what it's going to be. We're not going to give scholarships anymore.
Yeah, why do that?
We're out on that.
Oh, they might find themselves in Division III if you go with the Super League model and you have promotion relegation, which, again, I wouldn't totally be opposed to that, but that will be years and years and years down the road.
So many. I mean, the ACC will probably have renegotiated its broadcast deal out to 2065 before we get to that.
At a tune of $25 million per year. They've actually gone down in value since then. I was watching a video yesterday. Yeah, it's obviously had some like very scary storms rolled through the area last night. Last night for us, kind of Western Ohio, then Indiana was a little bit earlier on in the day. And I was watching this video, and some guy, he's filming a car. The car's in a parking lot. And I don't know if it is like currently raining or if it was a torrential downpour that they had. But you know what they say? Like, turn around, don't drown when there is a unmarked body of water in your car.
Yeah.
And the water was so high, and this person is driving a Toyota Prius. They're doing like circles in the parking lot, like figuring out, okay, should I go? Should I leave? What should I do? And then they pull up to an area, Austin, that seemed to be a little bit sketchy with water. And what I didn't realize, and what the person in the video who was commentating was doing the play-by-play on this, there was a ravine that was running through the parking lot. The water was so high that the ravine had flooded. That's what the water was like getting into the parking lot. And so you just see this Toyota Prius literally drive right, and like the guy is screaming, like, turn around, turn around. This Toyota Prius just drives like right into this ravine. Like, what? That seems like a bet. There's a bridge. You can see the bridge in the video. Like, if you're going to try, maybe try the bridge. It
was probably built for a reason, if I had to guess.
And this car just nosedives into this ravine, into this creek. Like, what are we doing? Why? What are we doing?
They turn around, don't drown.
That's right. That's right. Before we get out of
Pay attention to your local weatherman, by the way.
Today's fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. I know we both did. Sharky did as well. Did you go to your basement or safe area during the last night's storm? Yes or no? We did, just because you and I were like directly in the path, and on the news coverage, they're like, yep, this is on 161. If you're close to Morse Road, I'm like, well, Austin's right in the path of 161. I'm not far away from that. It's Morse. And then it's popped up on the screen that it's up in Powell too, Sharky. And I know that you were obviously watching the coverage. So we all went down there last night, and we got out probably about, 11:10, 11:15 when it had passed us a little bit to the east. But it for sure had my adrenaline pumping a little bit.
Had me going. Sharks stayed safe. We stayed safe. Hope everybody in Northwest Columbus, Powell, Westerville, wherever, stayed safe as well. Like, we didn't get the worst of it. It could have been a lot more dangerous than what it wound up becoming. Nobody likes to hear tornado sirens unless it's Wednesday at noon.
Yep.
And even then, I could do without them. But I hope everybody out there that can hear our voice was able to stay safe, and that they didn't drive into any creeks.
Yeah, that was good. I don't think that happened in Ohio, so I think we were okay on that. Are you going to enjoy your nap today?
I got to go make more content.
Got to talk about
I'm going to go talk to
quarterback.
I'm going to go talk to Bill Landis here in a little bit, and we're going to talk about Ohio State safeties, which again will be a short episode because they're good too.
Chris Sims coming on the podcast today?
No, he's out.
All right, everybody have a great day. Austin, I had so much fun. What do you say we reconvene again tomorrow at 6 a.m. if they allow us? You good with that?
I'll be here.
Everybody have a great day. Uncle Bo and the boys, they're up next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break all the good stuff going down in the world on. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching some slight delays on 315 southbound because of a crash right near Henderson Road that has some delays trickling back to Bethel Road. Police working to clear this right now, but expect delays and crews responding over there. Also expect delays on 33 out in the Dublin area. Crews working to clear a crash in the left lane that has those westbound lanes of 33 just beyond Avery Murfield Drive, moving slow. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
This is a Fan Action Update.
This Action Update's brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, go 1-800-GAMBLER. We now know the NFL's scheduled release date will likely be next Wednesday. The current Super Bowl betting favorite is the San Francisco 49ers at plus 550. The Bengals are 12-1 and the Browns are 40-1. A Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl rematch is currently the favorite at 15-1. For your Tipico Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Columbus Men's Clinic, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step. And the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional, modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We are results-driven. Concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Columbus. Come see our friendly team in Columbus and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to columbusmensclinic.com and book your appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Save up to $150 on select sets of 4 Vredestein tires at AAA Car Care Plus. Not a member? Not a problem. Everyone can save up to $150 on Vredestein tires through May 31st at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
Score a goal with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the checking account that rewards you for supporting the crew. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, official credit union of the Columbus Crew, federally insured by NCUA.
Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner. We all know breakfast is an important part of your day, but sometimes when you're traveling for business, you end up staying at a hotel that doesn't offer any. You know what happens? You grab a cup of coffee and skip the meal entirely. We've all been there. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. And really, who doesn't want to start their day with a fresh, hot waffle? Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Broadcast